Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well, all things considered. And as I try to say, shout out to my boy Vazen here in the chat, chilling. We have an important stream today, going over assisted means of exiting. We have Against Life coming in soon. My boy Mark here. How you doing, Mark?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm good, man.
Good, good.
Yeah, man. Aries season kind of beginning. Springtime and getting some sun, trying to, because we're animals, right now. So trying to, whatchamacall, not get too sedentary with life.
I hear you.
Yeah. Against Life, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Awesome.
Awesome. So JC should be coming up.
What was that about?
Sorry.
No? You're good. Are you good?
Sorry, I'm good.
It's all good.
Is that like a pet? You got a pet in your home?
No.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Oh, I'm eating crab legs, y'all.
Oh, crab legs.
That was nice.
Oh, you're getting good right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Gotta eat good in this biological prison.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Might as well do
Enjoy
something you like.
Mm-hmm. Gotta feed this rotten meat soup.
Yeah. Okay, you're into seafood. What is there a certain cuisine, Mark, that you enjoy eating?
Oh, hell no. I am not a seafood guy myself. But I do like pasta dishes. I love pasta. I love potatoes. Um, I like meat. Yeah, all that stuff. But for seafood, I'm not really a big fan of it.
Yeah, I hear you. I like any type of meat. I can't hold you. Shout out to all the vegan, anti-natalist, ethicist, whatever it is. But man, I grew up
I already
on
know
meat.
they're gonna attack me in the comments.
Yep, yep.
I don't give a damn.
Nope.
Right. Force of the matter, we gotta we're all selfish, you know what I mean? Like we're
some
here right
extent.
now, and that's not, it's a symptom of a problem to talk shit to anyone that's chowing down on carnal flesh. That's the territory we're in. We got to play the devil's game.
Pretty
As
much.
you say, and the shit tastes good. I can't deny.
And I mean, to be honest, let's be fair. I mean, even vegan, vegetarian diets, they all consist of suffering because for the work that it takes to grow those crops, a lot of animals have to die. I mean, tractors, you can ask any farmer, they'll tell you they run over so many different types of animals, rats, mice, small foxes, all sorts of things that they go over in those tractors. So even that's not a cruelty-free diet. It's just less of it, but still, you exist here, you're going to cause some kind of suffering.
Right.
Exactly.
So nobody really has the moral ground. You know what I mean? Like, that's not it.
No. Well, JC should be coming soon. He don't have the link. Oh, I see you in the chat, my guy. Yeah. I mean, I'll drop it in the chat. Anyone else that comes, I won't, let them go to stage. So let me drop it here in the chat for you, my boy. Shout out to everyone here in the chat. My boy Alan forever.
I can't see it. Hold on.
Got Dear Poops. Shane Gall, of course. Life Abolitionism. Shout out to you. You said you can delete it once he's on. Yeah, you're right. I think I can. So yeah, once I see that, appreciate you, brother Marcus. But yep, we'll get JC here in a moment. Then we'll look to start up.
Can I ask where everybody's located? Can I do that? I'm in Florida.
Michigan.
Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona. Let me close my door.
Okay, so everybody's in the United States.
Yep.
Does anybody have plans to leave?
You know what? I wish I had the money to do it. But at the moment, I have no plans to really do that.
So as
I mean,
everybody knows, I want to have like a euthanasia clinic. But some people aren't particularly ready to go at this moment. So what I would love to do is have a forum, some kind of forum where we share ideas on how we can make money online, business ideas, things of that nature, so that people who are stuck in a 9-to-5 wage slavery can try to work their way out of that. So I would like to work on that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. For like some type of forum in terms of like the platform. I mean, we already all have like a community here on YouTube, but you're saying, something more connected because we have separate pages and everything, and or we can have a whole new page dedicated to this specifically. But like you mentioned, for a forum, I'm thinking what platform. If you guys have any ideas on that.
But I was thinking of having it on my particular website.
Oh, that's true. You already got one up. What am I talking about?
No, I don't have one up. I'm working on creating one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like you said, I would say I'm not going to speak for people, but for myself, right now I'm kind of in a entanglement here in the States. I do have family, I will say for myself, in terms of my immediate family. Like if I wanted right now with them, we can go to Nigeria right now. We have a home there and everything. But that's Nigeria, and that's not me like out of my own volition per se. Like that's me going with my family, you know what I mean? But that's one exit out. I remember back in 2014, that's when I really got started into like just how fucked up the world is. And I told my parents, I was like, yo, if we need to go, with all the fiat currency and all the shit that we see today, with the hyperinflation and whatnot, when it gets really bad, hits the fan, I was like, yo, we need to get the fuck out. Even right there, like a decade plus ago, I was like, we need to just, and my dad was like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But, right. Because America,
the fucking corporation, man.
Pros and cons, but honestly, man, like, this shit is not worth it. This work culture is so overrated. Just the fact that like there's other places where you don't have to be just, so caught up in that work environment. That's everything. Everything's centered around that. You don't have a life. You know what I mean? There was a video I didn't play it. Vazen or Shanghai posted like how before it was more physical chains, but the chains are still there. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I'm definitely like how Against Life was saying. I don't know what she just dropped. Should be on a moment again. We should all be trying to see some type of play, being intentional every day with what you're trying to do. And yeah, but that's one thing I wanted to share, that I know like with my family, I know I can, if it really because what is it? The fucking the drafts, like I have a younger brother,
right.
He could be in that threshold. It's certain things, my dad, I talked to him, he's like, yo, yeah, we could look to.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting a call. Sorry. I'll be back.
Good.
But what about you, JC? In terms of like any plans on exiting, not per se, the carnal flesh yet part, but in the States, because where are you at, JC? I don't know if I know. If you're talking, JC, I don't hear you. Do you hear Mark?
I don't hear him either. I think he might have his mic off.
Yeah, I saw he unmuted, but yeah, he may have to bounce back, come back in. Device not connected. Okay, he'll come back. I'm gonna kick him real quick, and then he'll come back.
Okay.
Because I remember the first time that we had that one live, some shit about it. Sometimes it's like the turn off, turn back on.
Yeah. That happens quite a bit with these streams.
Right.
But yeah, for me, I just don't see I don't see any possibility for myself to leave the United States or my family. I think that we pretty much stuck here due to the monetary position. You know what I mean? So it's like it takes quite a bit of money to just pack up and leave and go somewhere. And even then, I don't know where we would go anyway. Um, but ultimately, my plan really is not to stick around that long. It's
Right.
like, if shit hits the fan so fucking bad where it's like unbearable, I'm just not gonna fucking put up with it. It's like time to go. Um, so I'm preparing myself for that anyway. So, but I have no intention of going along with this whole shit about being drafted to fight some fucking war for these motherfuckers. Like that's not gonna happen. Like they don't give us enough incentive to do that shit. You know what I mean? It's like you first of all, it's hubris. Like you demand us to go and fight a fucking war and you don't give us shit. Like, people pay all these fucking high taxes and they don't get shit for it, right? But a hard way to go. And then they turn around and it's like, oh, now you gotta go fight for us, bitch. Now you gotta go die for us, bitch. Like, fuck you. I'm not doing that shit. It's
Right.
like I will not be doing that. I don't care what anybody else does, but for me, I'm not doing that. And if it means I die that day, I'm going to die that day.
I don't know if I'm okay. You can hear me, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, JC.
Well, yeah, I'm in the United States. I live in Texas, and I don't plan on getting out. I guess my plan is to not have a plan. When shit hits the fan, I guess that's going to be my time to go. I'm waiting for the right motivation to take the necessary action, which I should have done a long time ago. So I'm anticipating things going really bad, and I'm not going to say that I'm looking forward to it, but I feel like it's long overdue. Like I just would like some finality to this whole misadventure. Like it's difficult enough to do it, but it's like I don't know. People gaslight you to make it seem like it's so easy. Like
Right.
they keep telling me that I already have the ability, so therefore I don't need the right. They're conflating the two. A right is not the same as an ability. So they want me to jump off a cliff, but none of them would do it themselves. So I just think that I'm entitled to the same rights that cats and dogs and capital murderers are entitled to. If you don't want to be subjected to the system that you never chose in the first place, you should not be forced to exist within this this oppressive system involuntarily. So that's my position. As you all know, I wrote a whole book about it, but even after I'm just come to some realizations that I did not even consider. The fact that most people actually enjoy being enslaved. That was something that's like a glaring omission that I couldn't put myself in their shoes to think that anybody would be okay with this. And this is the reason why they procreate, by the way, because they don't care. They just think it's okay. They get to go shopping. They get to watch Netflix. If you're enslaved, so what? Suck it up. Everybody's enslaved. So you're no worse than the rest of us. It's a race to the bottom.
Facts, absolute facts. Like it really is amazing that so many people are just okay with this shit. Like I've had so many conversations where I bring up all of these points that you just mentioned, like the wage slavery, just life slavery in general, where you're just forced every single day to do shit you don't want to do, or rather coerced strongly to do shit you don't want to do, and it's just by people who think there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, these people have no issue with the fact that they live to pay. Like, just let that sink in. Every day that you're alive, you have to pay for some shit. It's like that alone is like, what? Ridiculous. But they don't have a problem with it. It's so crazy. They like the shit, definitely.
Right. I think that's the reason why I guess my book is resonating with people who are already woke, but for most people, it falls on deaf ears because my argument is if you're going to force us to exist and you're going to criminalize medical assistance, then you should pay for it. You should pay for the extraction. It benefits you. It does not benefit me. And they don't even understand the real, real life ramifications of that. Like You don't understand. There are people who are miserable, who hate this system, and they have to perform anyway. They have to put on a fake smile, go to work every day, and they're literally miserable every day, and it does not serve their interests. It serves everybody else's interests. Why should they not be compensated for that?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I appreciate, men like Dr. Kevorkian, because really he was before his time, honestly. Um, but even just with the work that he did trying to bring euthanasia to the Supreme Court, and how much he got fought against by doing that. I mean, it was ridiculous. All the man was pretty much saying was you should have the right to terminate your own discomfort. Like if you have a life of discomfort and you are suffering 24/7, you should have the actual right to decide enough is enough, and I'm not going to do this shit anymore. But they fought him tooth and nail, and I really love what he said in one of his interviews, where he said, America mentally is still in the dark ages. And it's,
Hell
and it's
yeah.
and it's very true, because these people have no sense of freedom. They have no desire to be free. They don't even know what that term means. And so when you or I speak and we have this attitude of we should have our own determination for our own lives, they got a problem with it. It's fucking crazy.
I think we have to address that before we can even discuss decriminalizing it, because these people, man, they're so lost. I mean, it's not something that they even think about. They think about happiness. I was just on a panel just the other day, and they were talking about what if we could just make everybody happy, like basically force everybody to be happy. I don't know how that works. Are you going to have a drug-induced stupor? Like what? How does that work? But I'm like, I think that happiness is an opposite to freedom. Like to slavery, excuse me. You can't enslave me and then expect me to be happy. I can never be happy as a slave. So unless you're going to liberate me, then we can't have any conversation about happiness. And they act like happiness is a virtue. It is not a virtue. Even Aristotle talked about eudaimonia. Eudaimonia is not happiness. It's about living a good life. It's about living according to virtue. Like your highest purpose is to achieve your virtues. And if slavery is not a virtue, I just don't respect people who are happy slaves and then they enslave their children. That's the most deplorable thing you can possibly do.
So true.
Right, and that's why I just think this is huge, because if we can look to further put this into manifestation, because there's certain areas already per se around the world or whatever, but it's pretty limited, as we know. It's very not accessible. They'll do what they can to still keep motherfuckers here. So I just think in the terms of, I envision, okay, when it is accessible to the everyday common man, this assisted means of euthanasia, motherfuckers are gonna go, bro. And like that phenomenon, seeing that in our reality, I know people are already very much so desensitized to many things, but this is another level. This is very personal. It's not some old news story of some kids blowing up. Oh, that's crazy too, obviously. But this is next door, Billy. He said, fuck this, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna, let alone someone more directly to the family. You get my point? And so it's gonna make people have to think a little different than what they're currently thinking and moving. If we can continue, to, have the ambition of putting stuff like this, with you and JC, and against, like, just again, thank you for the drive you guys have for us to even be here talking about it and trying to get to like specific things. Cause like you were saying, against like, I don't know. I think there's certain states, I'm looking it up right now, where it's legal. I'm seeing like Oregon, Washington, California, Vermont. There's like 10 when it comes to assisted suicide. But I think you were asking that question, quote me if I'm wrong, but because we would have to, if it's not anywhere we can do in the States, we have to get the fuck out, right? And have built some type of clinic, wherever we can, to have it actually, permissible. What was the basis for that question? If you that you asked him before? Are you talking against life?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was bending down. I'm an old lady. These knees don't work.
Mm. But yeah, what was the purpose behind that question you asked before? Was it just a general question, just out of curiosity, or was it getting into the?
Me, when I asked where everybody's located?
No, if we plan on like, leaving out the states.
Just because I've been hearing that a lot of people are leaving the United States. I was just wondering, if anybody else was having plans on doing so, because I definitely did.
Hmm. Yeah, because in terms of this, idea of making a clinic, have you thought about where it would be, for like the city or state, country?
I have. I've thought of several different places: Brazil, Ecuador, Mexico. But I'm not too sure where as of yet. Um,
Because I would say,
there's a lot of different things at play when it
what was
comes
that?
to that. I think there are many different things that come into play, like with the law. I'm still studying the law around it. Yeah, I'm studying the laws around it because I don't really know how that works. For an American to go to a different country and then be running a clinic of such nature, like how that works. So yeah.
Most of
Right.
the time, it's really expensive. Like, I know Switzerland. I think Switzerland has that program. I think it's called Dignitas.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have it, and you could go there as a citizen of a different country. However, it's extremely expensive. I think just to get it done, the whole thing costs upwards of $10,000
Yeah, I
per
think
sir.
my friend from India got a quote for 11,000.
Yeah, which is like super absurd. So you have to be like abundantly wealthy to get that type of service. But for the average person who just wants out and who wants to like get the shit over with, they don't have that choice. So it's like you pretty much are in a rock and a hard place because here in the States, there are a few states who do allow technically euthanasia, but it's so restrictive. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be critically ill. You
Mm-hmm.
have to have all this fucking paperwork done. You have to be put on a
Got to see
waiting
100
period,
different doctors.
right? And you have to be put on a huge waiting period. Um, and the doctor has to be okay with doing it. So it's like it's just such bullshit. Like all that fucking work and effort just to fucking die with a dignified death that they do every day for pets. I mean, it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's a slap in the face. It really is. It's like you're not even worth the dignity that we give to a dog or a cat when they die. It's so fucked up.
Exactly.
Right. My position is a little bit different. I'm not trying to legalize medical assistance. I'm trying to decriminalize it. I don't believe that the state has any legitimate authority to criminalize it in the first place. And when I looked into the history, this is something that I found out after my book was published. This actually came from the American Medical Association. So the root cause of criminalizing it is our occupational licenses. So the state gave the American Medical Association a monopoly over the practice of law. And then once they got a monopoly, then they're going to talk about their Hippocratic oath that, oh, as doctors, we're supposed to be saving patients and we can't harm patients. But nobody asked you to give yourself a monopoly in the first place. Prior to the American Medical Association, there was a free market for medical services. Doctors were not licensed. They were self-taught. A lot of times they experimented on cells. They would take, drugs or whatever that were experimental, and then they would find out if they actually work. So now that they have given themselves a monopoly, now they're going to say, oh no, this is about protecting doctors. Never mind the fact that the statutes actually go further than protecting doctors. It says that nobody can assist you in any way, shape, or form. You can't encourage someone. You can't give them any advice about methods. You can't discuss anything. So
There was a butcher. Sorry to cut you off. I don't know if you guys heard this. There was a butcher selling type of salt.
Hey, Against Life.
Yeah.
The audio kind of okay. I don't get to maybe speak a little closer to like it was just a bit different right there, but you can
Can you hear me?
yeah, it's better.
I don't know if you guys heard there was a butcher selling a type of salt. I forgot the name of the salt. He was selling it to children who wanted to, self-delete, and now he's in a whole battle. And of course, have you heard about that?
I have not heard about that. That's a new one for me.
You said it was a what profession was this person? You said he was a who?
I think you said a
A
butcher.
butcher.
Yeah, butcher.
There's a type of salt that you can take, and it'll take you out. I forgot the name of it. Oh my god, I forgot the name of it. It's a salt they use on the meat to keep it from going raw, to keep it from rotting. And he was selling it to people who were looking to self-exit, and now he's in a whole battle.
Wow.
It happened in Canada.
Well, the last point I wanted to make about the American Medical Association is that, first of all, the doctors themselves never supported criminalizing. It was the association itself. And inner life care is highly profitable. So if you're terminally ill and you're in some hospital bed, they're making so much money.
Mhm.
So they don't want you to be able to pull the plug. They want
Yep.
to prolong your life and prolong your suffering because
Yep.
it benefits them.
Yeah,
Facts.
sodium nitrate is what I'm seeing. Shout out Distant Horizons.
Sodium nitrate. Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, that's the first thing that they claim too. Is like, oh well, you don't have to do that. We have hospice. It's like that's an entirely different thing. Hospice is there just drugging you up and charging you every second of the way. And it's like you're not getting comfort. You're getting drugged up and milked for all the money the insurance companies are going to pay out for that. Um, and I think a lot of these people haven't had the opportunity to watch a loved one die and have to be there to watch
Mhm.
that shit go down. Like they haven't
Mhm.
had the ability to actually see how this shit happens, because if they did, they would understand why euthanasia should be uh illegal. It has no business being illegal. I mean, the fact that something like that is illegal is fucking stupid. But anyway, they should have to sit there and watch that whole process happen. I'm sorry, but they should. They should watch somebody writhe around in agony, begging to die
Yep.
until they get it in their fucking stupid heads that there is no point to this being illegal. It's like somebody's asking for the pain to stop. And at some point, by the way, those morphine pills don't even work up to a point where the pain is so bad, all you do is scream. It's like, fuck that. I mean, this shit should be so basic. 1+1 is 2. And this whole thing about them doing no harm, they do harm every single
That
day.
is fine.
That is harm, exactly. They're doing harm every single day. Anytime somebody tells you, I don't want to do this procedure, and you say you have to, that's doing harm. Like, if somebody says, I don't want to go through with medication or being medicated, I just want to die, and they say no, that's doing harm. So it's like
That's harm.
doctors are hypocritical by default. Like, if you're going to say you're not going to do harm to a patient, then give the patient the right to terminate. You don't keep them alive for fucking insurance claims, which is pretty much all the reason that they're doing that. They hide behind morals and values, but really it's all about the money. Like JC said, it's about the money at the end of the day.
Well, it can only be a harm if you don't own your life. Because if the state owns your life, then by depriving the state of if it's living property, then you are in the state. But if you own your life, then you can't cause harm. David Hume said, "A man." Let me read the quote. I believe he said, "A man who retires from life does no harm. He only ceases to do good." And then there's also the religious objection, because a lot of Christians think that life is sacred. But David Hume, who's basically authority on this subject, he wrote a writing called On Suicide. And he basically took the position that suicide can't be an act against God, because the ability to terminate one's life came from God. God gave us that ability. So he rejected all of these natural rights proponents like John Locke, by the way. John Locke believed that we had a duty to continue to exist because we owe our lives to God.
I don't know that motherfucker shit.
That's fucking crazy.
I didn't tell that bitch to create a damn thing.
Right? It's like,
Wasn't that the nigga that did that
was
one
this up
social
for a
contract?
vote?
He was that social contract head ass motherfucker, right? John Locke.
Oh no, well, the social contract, that's Rousseau, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Rousseau is even worse than John Locke. Rousseau, John Locke would say that the state, that you owe a duty to the state. You owe a duty to God, but he doesn't say anything about the state. Rousseau has a completely different framework, which is called the general will, that you don't own your life. You're basically a slave to the collective. The sovereign is the master of your life and death. Basically, your life is a privilege from the state. That's according to Rousseau.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. They must have been on some good crack back then when they were writing that shit.
Some good shrooms.
Yeah, for real. It's like, what? I mean, come on. It doesn't even make logical sense. For one, there was no agreement because you were dragged into life and you were not given an option of whether you agree with the mandates of the state or whoever else is in power. You were just brought here. So the idea of them saying that since you exist and live that you agree to this shit is fucking ridiculous. I mean, it makes no sense. It's like, how could we have had a say-so in agreeing with the terms and conditions of being ruled by the state when there was no such thing to be given to us in the first place?
These mentally ill parasitic maggots will say that the sperm chased the egg and you won the race, so you did choose this. They've been saying it.
Rousseau actually contradicts himself because he says that parents don't have legitimate authority to alienate their children's liberty, but at the same time, everything about the social contract is involuntary. You were born into it. And then there's the whole issue of the soul contract, that your soul chose your parents, you asked to be here. I'm hearing this so much, so many times. It's so ubiquitous in these circles. I don't know how it spreads so quickly, but a lot of people believe it, even Christians. I don't understand it. How can you actually believe that without any evidence?
I mean,
people will believe any story that sounds good without any empirical evidence at all. They don't need a shred of evidence. But if they hear something that sounds like, they've been calling us conspiracy theories for years. I've been saying the government is all pedophiles, all the judges are pedophiles, rapists. We've been saying this shit for years and nobody believed us. And now that the Epstein files came out and now all of a sudden everybody's like, oh no, oh no, oh no. It's like we've been saying this shit, but y'all wanted evidence for it because it didn't sound good. It didn't sound like mushy rainbows. It didn't sound good. So people needed evidence for that. But people will believe that we chose our existence, we chose our parents, we chose this life, blah, blah, blah. People will believe that shit because it sounds all spiritual and beautiful and butterflies and rainbows.
And see it, and then it gets even more retarded. Because when you mention the whole thing about all the ills that people bring into the world, like pedophilia, all sorts of crimes and things that happen, if they are following their logic, that means everyone who was born who had been subjected to those type of things chose to be that. They chose to be raped. They chose to be pedophiles. They chose to be murderers. They chose to be murdered. I mean, it's a fucking stupid argument. And it just goes to show you how these people love slavery, love life so much to the point that they will lie to try to justify it. Nothing is too bad for these people. Nothing is too bad for them. It's like you can't get through their stupid fucking minds that none of this shit means anything. It's like it shouldn't have to exist. And let alone to say that it's all good is just a denial of reality. Like you have to be so brain damaged to believe that life is beneficial for everybody in it. It's just not true. there's no evidence for that. And to say that somebody chose to be this and do all these things, it's just mental gymnastics on steroids. It makes no logical sense.
Well,
I don't.
they want to pathologize anybody who does not enjoy their existence. They
Mhm.
say that you're crazy. They want to dismiss your arguments, but I would say that they're the ones who are crazy. How can anybody be okay with this oppressive system? And this is the contradiction, because these people are so pro-life. I would say they complain, if not as much as anti-natalists, more so. They complain about everything. They oh, the food is not safe for my children.
Mhm.
The chemtrails. They want to complain about the Epstein files. They want to complain about veganism, about how animals are being exploited. They don't want to address the root cause. The root cause is that humans were enslaved in the first place. So they want to address the violence on the back end, which is the violence to animals, but they don't give a shit about the violence on the front end, which is the imposition of human life.
Exactly. The whole thing is exploitation from day one.
But
Everything.
because they're fundamentally violent themselves, they want to force you to exist because you're so beneficial to them, and they want to extract you. They want to extract from you for their cause. Live for me, serve my cause. I get to feel good. You get to be a slave, but so what? Don't focus on your own enslavement. Focus on these damn animals.
And then the funniest thing is when they have a reaction to people who lash out against that and react violently against that shit. Like, I mean, it amazes me how they think everybody who's brought into existence is just going to go along with that shit and be okay with it and be like totally fine with that. And then they act crazy when somebody, has a violent reaction or does something, against the system. Like, what did you think was going to happen? If you birth people into hell, expect to get demons at some point. It's like, it's crazy. Like all this shit they complain about in society and how everything is so harmful, and yet these motherfuckers are constantly opening up their legs to bring more people into it. It's like they're not only hypocritical, but they're also full to the brim of delusion, where they think
Yes.
that they're innocent from the harms that they complain about. Like these people are creating all the people that they hate, all the pedophiles, all the rapists, all the corruption, all the politicians. You people are creating that shit. Every time you open your legs to have a fucking crotch goblin, that's what you're bringing into the world. So it's
And
like it's so insane.
that's why I can't take a firm position against alphilism, because they don't believe in consent. They believe in force. So if the alphalists want to impose their will through violence, they absolutely deserve it. I'm not even going to stand. I'm not going to support it, but I'm not going to speak out against it either.
All right. It's just
I
so
feel like
crazy.
everybody who enjoys this pigsty should definitely stay in it. I mean, go ahead. I feel like biological parents should be forced to stay here too and go through whatever they have to go through. But everybody else who don't want anything to do with this biological person, everybody else who don't have any dependents, no children, should be able to freely leave this shithole, this circus, this insane asylum whenever they feel like it. Even if they're 17, 16. So if they understand death, they understand what comes after, and they understand that it's the end of their life and they will never see their parents, they'll never see their family ever again. They understand what death is. They should be able to freely go.
Well, they have their own hangups about death, and they just think that, oh, you're young, you're this whole deprivation model that if you don't get to experience life, you were deprived of something. They don't even know. They can't even guarantee that you have a future. They can't guarantee that you have jobs. So the younger you are, the more resistant they're going to be to you having that right. So, like my whole thing is, I just want to decriminalize it in the first place and leave it to the individual physician on whether they want to assist someone who's underage. It's not my call. If someone underage wants to do it, and they can, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's going to be some technicalities or logistics with paying the doctor, but I don't think that it should be limited to doctors. It It should be left to the free market. Anybody who has the ability to assist in your death should have the ability to do that without any interference from the state.
Absolutely. And they could start by decriminalizing all the drugs that they criminalized to prevent that from happening, like all the barbiturates that they took off the shelves, all the things that they, all the different drugs that they banned and made illegal. They should start there and
Lambutol.
right, and they should reintroduce those into the market for people who have that choice. That way, they wouldn't even have to be bothered with, oh, the doctor's morals prevent them from help. Okay, well, fuck the doctor. Then just give me the means to the drugs so I can do it myself. I mean, it's all about imposition. Like they are so hell bent on holding everybody captive, and it's like that's what I'm saying. You know, look, their world is falling apart right now. All the chaos, all the violence, all the destruction, these motherfuckers pretty much asked for it. Okay, I feel no sympathy about the shit collapsing around them right now as we speak because they
Nope.
brought it on themselves. Like, you
Yep.
can't hold a wild animal in a cage and expect them not to lash out at some point. Like, I mean, you motherfuckers get what you give. I mean, it's like, come on now. A lot of this shit could have been avoided. Like, if somebody and for as much as they complain about violent suicides, right? Here's my favorite one. It's like, oh well, if you do a violent suicide or if you kill yourself, somebody else has to find the body. Well, motherfucker, guess what? We asked for the right to do it with dignity, so that wouldn't have to happen. But you stupid motherfucker said, oh no, that's illegal. You can't do that because God should decide. Make up your fucking mind.
See, this is all pimp game, man. Yeah, I was gonna say, JC. Yeah, there was Brother Marcus. Shout out, you know, with the whole stream. If there's anything you may need me to do, let me know. But it's all pimp game. Like you were saying before, social contract. That's a pimp game. Saying that just because you're here now, you're gonna have to agree, even though you didn't say anything. There was a chick here. Shout out to Witchy Blishy. She said she gave a shout out to you, Mark. What was it? Hold up, Marcus. She had a thing. She said, nothing in nature requires consent. That consent, like we know, this is us talking to us right now, right? For us to first get imposed, right? That's why nature, right? We know it doesn't have that. Yeah, shout out Witchy, have consent. So we're trying to make things better. And like against, like we all, know. We're just, if niggas want to go, let them go. Like, what is this? So when they say this Hippocratic oath, it's funny, hypocritical, like, oh, do no harm. This is harm right now. What are we talking about, bro? This is harm right now. So whatever little harm that we might get before we exit is minuscule to the exponential harm that we would have when we continue so if we were able to talk to some of these motherfuckers, they have nothing to say. There's no justification. There's no it blows me. And so I just hope that one day this can continue to progress. Because yeah, like you said, JC, we're all the same thing. I know Brother Marcus, we're all just trying to have it decriminalized. It's more work to have them try to make access and make it more, government clinics or that's more government shit. That's going to take time. Yeah, just don't do anything. They're doing too much right now, with holding things back, restricting, different means. And so we're just trying to, like how you mentioned, JC, just leave us the fuck alone. It's all this energy. This whole anti-natalist talk was that from the get-go. Leave us the fuck alone. Now we're here. Fucking, you see us when we fucking come here. Wham, like you're fucking mad at the world already. Isn't that a sign? Oh, God, right. No, let that be a sign. We're the proximate gods right now. Fuck anything else. I'm here because I'm trying to get some motherfuckers, to not be here anymore. We're just the entropic force. Every single one of us, anyone on the fucking call. So when they try to do that pimp game of, oh, you asked to be, yeah, and I'm here right now saying this shit needs to go. So,
facts.
And to address the social contract, I've already addressed this several times. Under the social contract, there's a duality where you're both the sovereign and a citizen. So you are a fractional master based on how many people exist under your society, but you are a full slave. So the notion that consent is not required, it invalidates the entire social contract. They're saying that it is voluntary, that you chose this. And so if there is no consent, then democracy is illegitimate. So and the laws criminalizing medical assistants are illegitimate. Everything about this whole system is illegitimate. You can't argue that we live in a nonviolent, like civilized society that's so much better than primitive cultures when your entire system is predicated on violence.
Facts, exactly. And like Witchy said in the comments, and she made a great point. Consent doesn't even factor in with the whole thing of nature. It's like that's just some shit that humans came up with. Like because nothing in nature runs on consent. It just doesn't. So the idea of the state saying, "Oh, well, you consented to this," we didn't consent to shit. Like we were just forced into it. So therefore, we should have the right to determine for ourselves that we don't agree with this imposition, and therefore we're going to take our action um, to get out of it. I mean, it's a simple equation of 1 + 1 is 2, and they don't want to acknowledge that. It's like, what the fuck? But here's the thing: it's going to happen anyway. Like, people are going to die anyway. So it's like, what's the fucking hang up? It's like, you're not going to live forever. And as much as they would like to, that's just not how things work. So you're just sustaining people just to use them. Again, it's all about exploitation.
Moreover, the purpose of the social contract is to protect us from the state of nature. It's supposed to be an advancement. It's not supposed to enslave us. It's supposed to liberate us. So to say that because there is no consent in the state of nature, that therefore there should be no consent under the state of society is incorrect. The state of society is supposed to be consensual. If not, if it's going to be based on force, then we may as well go back to the state of nature. We may as well dismantle the state.
Mhm. Which would be logically sound, because it checks out. Um, because everything that is done through the state is by force. So if they tell you, oh, you have to pay this amount for whatever utility, and you decide not to do it, guess what? They're going to force that outcome of you not having that utility, or they're going to force you to you know, obey their rule or face their consequences. So the whole structure of society is force. Like, I don't care what anybody says against that, it's true. Like, if an officer tells you do X, Y, and Z, you say no, they're going to use force to try to get you to do it. So again, even society hasn't reached a point of being consensual because force and consequence are still part of the structure. Therefore, it's not even consensual anyway. It's like it's just all forced. But the difference is these people have given themselves the right to use force, and they're restricting other people from using force to resist them. That's just all. That's just the difference.
Yes, Brother Marcus is correct. I would support decriminalizing it entirely. It would be based purely on private contracts where each provider would set their own conditions. I mean, I set my recommendations on how it should go. I don't believe anyone who has children who has not fulfilled the moral debt for life enslavement should be eligible for medical assistance in dying. But my framework does not involve the state at all. I want to get the state out the way so that we can be free to make these decisions for ourselves.
Exactly. That's all it is. Because right now, in terms of, with Against Life and looking to find a means to do something already, that's why it would be a battle if we were to do anything like this in the States. That's why, yeah, in the terms of exiting, most of us, I'm sure, are here in the States. It would have to be, and I was thinking if we were to do that, promote and build that anywhere that's the most proximate, right? The easiest, closest place, so that it's just easier to then go to the place, the clinic, come down the line. So that's why I wanted to mention it eventually that most of us are likely here, in America. And so in terms of if we were to be a clinic, you mentioned Brazil, somewhere maybe South America, or there's a lot in Europe, whatever's, the closest place to America so that the, travel isn't that hard.
I think it would actually be ideal for us to just have the L pill, to just be able to take this pill in the privacy of our own home, not have to leave, not have to go through a waiting period. I mean, they already have it in certain countries, but Because it's criminalized, no doctor can prescribe it.
It's just so crazy.
Yeah, that would be definitely the most accessible for sure, for sure. Whatever the fuck gets the job done for sure, and that would, yeah, for sure. And yeah, that's, I mean, that's all it is. Like you said, JC, we're just trying to get these niggas off our backs. Like we come here, you know, through all these different impositions, and it just keeps on going. It's just a battle of will, and so these points need to somehow get further across because this is our will right now. You know what I mean? Trying to promote this other side of the conversation that's not being recognized because it's obvious as fuck. If there was a way, you know, not just anyone here, but the whole world right now is sitting, and then we have whoever on the other side. They can pick one, and we just go point by point. There's nothing they can say. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like we don't come here through consent, and now they're not even like appreciating these points that we're trying to. And so I'm baffled. I'm not surprised or anything. You know, this is what it is. But we just got to continue pushing. Go ahead, JC.
Well, once you deconstruct their arguments and their like obfuscations, they basically admit that the entire system is based on force.
Right.
They will admit that you didn't choose to come here, you didn't choose to participate in democracy. They will admit that these laws are based on force, that you did not consent to them. They still, after that, after you run them into a brick wall, then they're going to make an appeal to necessity. They're going to say, well, this is just the way it has to be. There's no other way that things can function in society.
And all of that is just a power play. I mean, all of it is about power play. That's essentially all it is. You have no power, but we have the power to determine for you what you can and can't do until a person decides that they don't have that power and that person enacts their own will to go against their imposed power. I mean, it's a two-way street. It can go either way. I mean, you know, you can try to force somebody to be a slave, but if that person decides, I'm not going to go along with that and force their will against you trying to enslave them, it's tit for tat. I mean, you ask for it. You get what you give.
Right. I was told that I'm not compassionate. I should feel sorry for these people, these very people who support my enslavement. Why should I feel sorry for them? Even if I'm not going to actively do anything to them, when things naturally occur to them, when the U.S. dollar collapses and they suffer, I mean, of course, I'm going to suffer too, but I'm still going to enjoy watching them suffer because they absolutely deserve it.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm kind of shying away from the word antinatalism because it's against suffering. I actually believe some people deserve to suffer.
Facts.
These forced birthers, these forced lifers, these people who want to force everybody to live the way they think they should live, and these motherfuckers deserve to suffer.
Yep.
So I don't even call myself an antinatalist anymore just based on that.
Absolutely facts. And that's exactly why I don't either.
I came up with my own terminology. I'm calling myself a life abolitionist, which is a synthesis of antinatalism, pro-mortalism, anarchy, and socialism.
I love it.
And all of that is better than all this shit that we have now.
Right. Because like, who the fuck created these terms? You know, not us. We use it from before because it got the job done. But you know, just as things continue on, shit gets bastardized and just watered down, and it's not fitting with the vibe. And yeah, having your own creative ability with that makes you be able to make sure certain things are said, you know, and honed in on. Yeah, man, I feel you, JC, because it's just you control the narrative more than some. Oh, you're an anti-natalist, so you should be like no. But yeah, I feel like this topic, assisted means of euthanasia, exiting, is of an easier understanding for any opposing viewpoint. You know, kind of like, again, I just use anti-natalism for the reference point, but not promoting birth, I'm not even saying in terms of agreeing. People like don't even like understand us with why we don't want to promote birth. But surely while we're here and going through all these fucking forms of harm, and we're just like Mark mentioned, we're already gonna go. We're just trying to get this shit a bit quicker. You know, that's all it is. And not understanding that, you know, like if you do what you want for you, right? Like how they say us, do what you want, but I'm gonna continue to procreate, live your life, whatever. But you can't understand. I feel like more times when I begin in these conversations or like the Reddits and whatnot, when I used to be back in the day, um, many are understanding to this conversation that this should be a thing. You know, compared to the anti-natalist, ethicist conversation, this is just niggas want to leave, let them leave. And so, you know, when it comes to the politics, I think Shanghai had a voice memo he played for us, and he was like, you know, we would just be. It's tough because like this type of promotion that we would want from a politician, it's just like, goddamn. I mean, if anyone has that and they're promoting this and they're like, we would grab to them, of course, but like, if we ever go that route, you know, it's just like a rag doll. You're just using it to get the job done and throwing it away. But I just wish these points were more public because it's fucking crazy what is going on, and it's a simple solution. This can, like you said, JC, just decriminalize. That's all this is. You know what I mean? We're not telling them to do anything. They're doing too much. And so, like we know what the state of the world and everything, who knows what's to come. I'm just like, I just get really irritated because everyone complains. You know what I mean? Everyone complains. And so what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? The last stream, you know, that one guy, he was going on, he had a lot of good points about a lot of fucked up shit. But it's like, okay, now we bring this to the table. What do you have to say about that? And I think this is the most understandable one, and it can bridge to more people. Again, I just feel personally, I'm already there, but I feel personally, when people see certain people they know exit, that's gonna fuck them up.
Yep.
And that's gonna further this entropy shit, man. And so it's just, I think in terms of like the scale of things, we mentioned the anti-voidism stream last time. I think this point with the exiting is the next clearest thing. The anti-natalist shit, not, you know, putting a child here is easy. We're not, that's already a given, you know, nothing's going on for that. But if like, what's something we could, it would be this, right? Or what would you guys say?
Well, I think it would be for sure, because the conversation needs to happen more often. Right now, from the perspective of being in the United States, there's no talk on this topic whatsoever, like in no serious fashion. I mean, look, since Dr. Kevorkian died, they have not brought this issue back up at all in any serious manner. And the few people who came, you know, after him trying to promote this idea, they got shut down real fast because, oh, well, Dr. Kevorkian tried that and it didn't work, so therefore we're just going to ignore it. It's like, at this point, I think America is entirely useless in terms of anything productive, in terms of, you know, uh, any type of discussion. Yeah, very much so regressive. In terms of Europe, you know, America is not even a first world country. I mean, this is a fucking shit pile covered in glitter, you know, with that title. It's so
a
fucking
shithole.
crazy.
A shithole, just like Donald Trump said.
Yes, exactly. This is third world, like, for fuck's sake. But yeah, there's no discussion about it at all happening. So, I mean, I don't know where to really go from there except to, you know, try to push the matter forward in whatever way that we can, and hopefully enough of us can do it. But, you know, we'll see.
I think it's the meta exit. Like, you can't have democracy. They say it's based on consent of the government, but if you don't have the right to exit, then consent is impossible. So I think the right to exit actually does several things. First of all, it prevents parents from having a guaranteed return on investment when they procreate. So they're not entitled to you carrying on their legacy, you carrying on their last name, you taking care of them in old age. And so if it was decriminalized, then they would be taking a greater risk. It also prevents the extraction from society that, it prevents the extraction from society in terms of taxes and participation. I have a quote from Watson versus Glucksberg, but I'm not even going to bring it up yet unless you guys want me to. But the bottom line is that there is no accountability if the state can have bad policies that produce bad outcomes, and you have no ability to hold them accountable because you're captured and you're forced to exist under their system regardless. You're not. They can say, well, you can go to another country. No, I think we have a global economy. It's just, you're just shuffling shit around. Why would I want to go to another country
Right.
to be a slave to another country? I don't want to be a slave to any country.
Right.
So if there was a right to opt out, they would look at the numbers. We already have declining birth rates, which is already a serious concern. They need more slaves. They need more people to procreate. And then if you couple that with the right to exit, man, it's game over. They're not going to have the leverage that they have. You can't force me to exist under your oppressive policies. So then you're going to actually have to change your policies because so many people are going to be opting out. Now you're going to, excuse me, now you're going to have to actually improve our quality of life.
Right. And that's something that they just adamantly refuse to do. I mean, the United States, this place is governed by greedy, rich, wealthy, psychopathic motherfuckers who want to make life as impossible as can be, and they just demand compliance about it. It's like they have no intent on making any of this better, which is why I say just fuck them in general. Set the house on fire, so to speak, because they obviously have no intention on trying to make life even bearable. I mean, right now we're talking about the whole thing happening in Iran and how this is going to affect gas prices. I mean, they're already saying people should get ready to pay more for gas, pay more for food, pay more of their utility bills. And meanwhile, they have no plan to help any of these costs go down. So it's like, what the fuck are we really doing here? Everything is about force. Everything is about exploitation. But the funniest thing about it is the irony of them racing toward nuclear war. I mean, we might not even have to do much. Like these motherfuckers are like they're about to pull the big red button at any moment. So it's like, you know what? Fingers fucking crossed. I hope they do. But yeah, it's just the irony and the hypocrisy is at an all-time high with these people.
Yeah, and forgot what point exactly made me. There was something you said, JC. Like, people are already going out. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the numbers, especially young teens, like this is one of the most, common ways that, by their own means, respect and admiration in many respects to that, instead of letting nature do what nature always does and just fucks with their fucking mental. So again, like you were saying, like, I mean, it's like parents are going to want something. Like, I just see people complaining about something, like you're saying, making it easier for people right now, so that's why it's not happening. That's why it's not there, because this would just be, it would just be such a confrontation. Go ahead, Against Life.
Do you guys see my comment? I posted a link
in the chat.
In the private chat.
Oh,
how you even go there? God damn.
I can't even chat in the other.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, there was somebody that posted, I think it was D Poop. Let me put him on the screen. Shout out to you. He had mentioned this before. I don't know if I can find the one. But yeah, I'll pull that up here. He said it a bit ago, Kenneth Law, yeah. Let me pull up that video here. We'll watch it right now. All right.
It's clearly a significant charge to be laying this many.
Police announcing more charges against Kenneth Law.
The police have laid an additional 14 charges of second-degree murder in relation to this case. These charges are in addition to the 14 charges of counseling or aiding suicide that were laid previously in August of this year.
Law is the former chef accused of selling suicide concoctions online to individuals who expressed interest in taking their own lives.
Male and female between 16 and 36 years of age.
The upgraded charges announced 7 months after Law was arrested for selling sodium nitrite.
I can say that evidence has come in that supports the charge of second-degree murder.
It's certainly unprecedented.
Criminal defense lawyer Joseph Newberger.
I think it's going to be a challenging case for the Crown to prosecute.
A case Newberger says will depend on what Law said in communications with his customers.
So if they have these communications and it's clear that Mr. Law was communicating and trying to influence or convince people who were maybe thinking about it, that may be compelling evidence to establish he knew that by shipping this chemical to them, they would use it and therefore die.
Law rented a room in this Mississauga home until he was arrested. It's alleged he shipped more than 1,200 packages from here all around the world. Police say at least 160 of those were in Canada. Some were mailed to Britain.
It's an appalling situation.
David Parfitt says his son Tom was one of Law's customers. The new charges don't change how he feels.
From pretty much the day I lost my son and realized that Kenneth Law was behind it, I've seen him as murdering my son. I think there's never been any doubt in my mind that the man is a murderer.
Sean O'Shea, Global News.
Man, can y'all hear me? Man. Who the fuck is this guy?
Bullshit.
Who the fuck? How do I put y'all niggas back on? What the fuck is this? Jesus Louise. Where my gang at? Oh my
Can y'all
god.
hear me?
I hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I'm still connected.
Yeah, we're here.
What you gotta say
Isn't
after
that
that?
some bullshit? I don't even. Just pisses me off.
Like, dude, I just wanted to scream to his fucking face. No, you're the one that murdered your son, you motherfucker.
Exactly.
You murdered your son when you
I
brought
would
him
really
into
love
this
to
world.
ask these breeders, like, how would you prefer your child to die? Cancer, maybe?
Right.
Rotting in a bed? Shitting and pissing on themselves? I mean, what's the preferable way?
Exactly. Like, they knew
That's
all
what
the
I
risks
mean.
going in.
The issue is like we're like avoiding the elephant in the room. Why? You know, for that fucking dad or even the news reporter, all like, why are they not? You know, obviously they're doing what they're. I get it, but like we're avoiding the clear points. Motherfuckers are wanting to go. This shit is terrible. What's going on? Right? We're just avoiding the elephant in the fucking room that this is bullshit what we all have to go through. And so yeah, that's why they're trying to find ways that they can get out because they're making it already hard for that too. So it's just so ignorant, all that shit. That's all I saw, just ignorance.
The part that really infuriates me is their hypocrisy because they talk about free will. They talk about how, oh, we're not forcing you to exist, right? That's what they keep telling me. I've been having these debates on Finding Gnosis channel. They keep telling me nobody's forcing you to exist, but they want to prevent you from having any ability to actually do it. They want to take away any type of information, any type of pharmaceutical supplies, any type of moral support, and then you're supposed to just go out into the woods and just figure it out on your own. Now, in terms of him doing that, I would say he's a hero. Actually, I think what he did is based. Those people consented. I mean, my book.
That's the part right there. How was that murder if they consented?
Exactly.
It's not murder because it's only murder if you don't own your life. If your life belongs to the state, then you don't have a right to terminate a life that does not belong to you. In my book, I call it the disposal rights. And this is the same term that David Hume used, the right to dispose of your own person. In my book, I address jury nullification. it doesn't take a whole jury. It doesn't take the entire jury to agree with you. It only takes one person to get a hung jury. If one person is actually thinking outside the box that you have a right to terminate your life, then the state cannot convict you. So I don't think we have to convince everybody, but we need to be talking about it. It needs to be part of the zeitgeist that this is slavery, which I call life slavery. And we need to delegitimize everything that they're doing to force people to exist against their will.
Facts, 100%. And I like what Shangel mentioned in one of the comments. He said, notice how they didn't decide why he didn't want to exist. Yeah, exactly. Like they don't ask these questions. They don't ask why the child decides he or she may not want to exist. They just say, "Oh, how could you do this? It's so selfish." Or they just go automatically into fucking gaslighting. Oh, it's their problem. No, you, the parent, decided you're going to bring that child into a world where they're going to die. Like, I mean, that's what kills me about the whole thing is like this argument of, oh, if you help somebody commit suicide, you just murdered them. No, you didn't. The parents are the ones who put them on a fast track for death in the first place. Everybody born is going to die. And like Against Life said perfectly, would you rather that kid die of cancer? I mean, would you rather them die of a fucking horrendous disease or have them be debilitated where they can't move, where they can't talk? I mean, these are all dangers that people say we're fine with having so long as we get to have a child. So the idea that they have a moral indignation to speak out against that man is fucking bullshit. They should take that shit and shove it because they're the ones who committed the crime in the first place.
And it also speaks to the futility of trying to criminalize it in the first place. Everybody has to die. The state they can't regulate you into being immortal to say that, oh, well, because it's illegal for you to die, so now we're going to go against the laws of physics that everybody has to die at some point. So basically, the state thinks that it's God. They think that they have control over life and death. And actually, death is the one thing that the state cannot control. They can force you to die, but they can't prevent you from dying. I mean, ultimately, they'll try to criminalize it. They'll put you in involuntary commitment. But ultimately, it's not the ideal way, right? Nobody wants to jump off a cliff, but ultimately, the state can't prevent anybody from dying.
We'll try. I'm thinking about it, but they've tried building nets around bridges to keep people from jumping. I mean, they're going out of their way. They're even creating these cars now where it cannot emit any carbon monoxide. These new battery operated cars, they will not emit any carbon monoxide. So you can sit inside all day. You can sit inside one of these cars and it will not slowly off you. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of every single method. But there's still methods available out there.
Yeah, there definitely is. I mean, in the United States, one of the popular methods is gun. I mean, it's like, come on now. I mean, it's just so ridiculous how they try to make this cage so well fortified, and then try to use claims of consent and how they have authority and all this shit. It's just so ridiculous. Like, you don't get to blame somebody for choosing the right to self-deletion when you are the ones who are enforcing them to be in a situation where that's even something they have to consider. I mean, it's so crazy.
But that whole thing was selfish as hell. He already knew that his son was going to have to die at some point. They don't care. They just want the child to die after they die. They don't want to have to witness it.
Facts.
They want the child to have to witness them dying.
JC, you killed it, my guy. Like, yeah, yes, because I think there was a mentioning of hospice earlier, and yes, when parents see their children go before them, oh my God, it hurts, and that should, like, of course, I don't want to say happen, but like it sucks because like I think there was a talk before where people need to suffer to realize certain things.
So true.
Because I had different things relative to that personally, and from there they make it a bit for their own conscience easier to understand these points. It's sad. It's sad that people have to go through so much fucking harm to understand basic concepts. I'm like, no, it didn't have to take that. Well, goddamn, now we're it's you know karma, I guess, for some that but and what pains me is like they have these different suicide prevention programs and walks and stuff. It's like, hold up, can we stop walking and can we talk? Can we talk about why the fuck are these things happening? Right?
Yes.
At the end of the day, what this comes down to is we have to make this world a more feasible place. I mean, motherfuckers have 3 jobs, fucking all this other shit. You know what I'm saying? That's all in many levels it is. This shit is stressful, my guy. And so it's just the ignorance with people. Because again, if you have the conversation, there's nothing, it's some vampiric shit. You want these people just to fucking be here for yourself. Man, it blows me. Like this whole thing is that, man. It's a battery. We are a battery for this shit.
I see it as narcissistic abuse. It's like the abuser is never going to fix themselves. They're going to tell you to get counseling so that you can get stronger to tolerate their abuse. So they're not going to do anything to change your quality of life. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to fight against state oppression. You getting pulled over by a road pirate, you having to work 40 plus hours a week. They're not going to do any of that. They're just basically going to say, go get counseling, go talk to somebody. You just need somebody to listen to your problems. Maybe they'll give you a pill and then you can learn to cope with your oppression and be okay with it.
Exactly. That's all that they recommend is, oh, just go to therapy, just talk to somebody. Motherfucker, I've been talking my whole life. That hasn't done shit to help me with the fucking problem. The problem is that problems fucking exist. And life is a big fucking stupid shitty problem. And yet we're pretending that there's some easy golden line within all of this where it can be bearable for everybody. And that's just not the case. They refuse to acknowledge that there are going to be people who are brought into this world who, no matter what, are going to hate life. They're going to hate living. And these people should absolutely have the means given to them to decide for themselves that they're not going to continue to take life abuse anymore. But because they don't, I mean, you get situations where you have messy suicides and such. And again, frankly, I don't feel sorry for the people who have to witness that. Why? Because they're likely part of the problem. They're the ones arguing that it shouldn't be a choice. They're the ones maintaining that it's okay to bring people into life. So frankly, I don't really care about their emotional well-being when shit like that happens because they're part of the problem by supporting it. Um, it's just the hypocrisy of all of it just sickens and infuriates me. It's like when a caged lion at a circus gets loose and he decides, not only am I going to kill these fucking trainers, I'm going to go after the people in the stands too. And that lion does that. I mean, I don't feel sorry for the people who were spectating and enjoying that lion's suffering. I mean, so when the lion breaks away, this was a story that actually happened, by the way. I forget what year it was, but the tiger, it was a tiger that broke loose in the circus and killed the trainers and then hopped into the stands and killed some of the people. And I was like, I don't feel a fucking thing for those people. Sorry, not sorry. The tiger had a point. You know, you shouldn't have been keeping him in the cage, torturing him day in and day out for fucking money. You get what you give.
And you came for my entertainment. You came to be entertained by my enslavement, and I'm finna eat you up.
Exactly. Exactly.
But have you guys ever had someone tell you that maybe you should go to a third world country and see how good you have it? Have you ever had anybody try to gaslight you and tell you that shit? It's like, no, if I go to a third world country and I see how bad they got it over there, I'm gonna be even more pissed off at this fucking life DNA replicating bullshit that just keeps on happening and people just keep on birthing more people into this bullshit. It'll piss me off even more. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not gonna feel grateful. Grateful for what?
It's a false dichotomy. They're saying, oh, you live in a better country, but you don't have to live in any country because you didn't have to exist at all.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually with those different points, sorry to cut real quick. It's like it's only going to further intensify our side. When they try to say some shit, it's like, no, we can literally use what you're saying and intensify what we're saying even more. I mean, there's nothing to say. That's my thing. If we're talking, there's nothing they can say. This is vampiric, what's going on. We know this. That's how we come here. It is a vampiric system. So they're just showing their ass all the time.
right. And it's also the fact that they want you to feel comfort at somebody else's extreme level of discomfort, so they can justify the discomfort that you have. I mean, it's a whole thing of, oh, crabs in the fucking barrel. You know, they they want you to glorify somebody else suffering worse than you, so you can feel a bit better about your own enslavement and your own exploitation. It's like, fuck off. That's not how that shit works. It's like, I'm not going to be happy at my own exploitation, and I'm not going to be happy that somebody else is getting exploited worse than me. That's just going to make me feel worse. That's going to make me angrier. I'm not going to feel better knowing that somebody has it worse than me. I'm going to feel angry about that, because why the fuck should that even be a thing?
And that's the issue. That's the issue right there. These motherfuckers are not empathetical, ethical, these nice, compassionate terms. They don't give a fuck, bro. They're just me, my. What can I get? What can I do for me in my immediate surroundings? Because that shows their character for them to say some shit like that. The fuck? I mean, and that's what we're around. You know what I mean? That's sad.
I'd like to know what benefits I get for raising my kids. So far, I haven't seen it. I would say procreation primarily benefits men because it's their legacy. But even as a woman, you got love from your children. They had to love you because they depended on you for their survival. They have a lifelong connection to you. You get status as a mother that you get praise and admiration for being a mother. Like there's a status to being a mother. I think that you get to die knowing that it's mostly the man's legacy, but you get to die knowing that somebody will carry on your genetics. You're probably going to expect grandchildren from them. You instill your values into them. So you have people who exist right now who are carrying on your values. I could go on, but I mean, you got 5 human beings that exist because of you. It's not like you just got a puppy and the puppy had a short life and just, died after 10 or 15 years. No, you got human beings. That's what you got. You got 5 human beings to serve your existence.
Who has 5 human beings?
This person is Witchy Bitchy. She's asking what did she get for raising her 5 kids.
How old is she? How old are you?
I know her just because we on Fighting Gnosis' channel and my channel. I like her. She actually read my book. I just we just don't agree when it comes to anti-naism. She thinks that life is, I don't know. Like, she thinks that life just happens, and I don't want to speak for her. But I just wanted to answer her question that she got a lot out of having 5 children.
Yeah, it's just interesting because she mentioned, but shout out Witchy. I mentioned it before. Shout out for also renting JC's book. But she said at the end, so far I haven't seen it. Hence benefits. I have not seen any benefits. This is
what benefits were you expecting?
That's my thing. Like people need to take this game.
I have a lot of questions.
Because we know with putting people here, they're gonna die, right? So in your great comment here, Witchy, you're talking about benefits. What will I reap? There needs to be, like JC was going, there's already, let alone like intangible things that you're gonna reap. It's like these things need to be understood before we just fuck around and get tipsy and Mark Spilly spilled the fucking semen. We have, I'm not a father. I'm not going to be like, I would take the steps with, if I do this, this is what I'm going to get. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I'm just using that as an example, Witchy, you don't know the benefits ahead of time. You're at this point now, I don't see any, but these things should have already been contemplated before. But
Let me be more specific, because I had a friend who talked about the benefits that she got. She talked about how she kept getting pregnant because when she was pregnant, everybody was nicer to her. They would hold the door open for her.
Wow.
They would let her sit wherever she wanted on a bus. Like they would give her stuff, like give her food. I'm sure you had a baby shower where people just showered you with gifts and gave you all this attention. Are you sure you didn't get anything out of it?
Well, you know what?
And,
I really,
and I'm sorry, this one last point.
go
And
for
I'm
it.
sure you got some affection from a man for giving him 5 children.
Well, can we really address this whole thing in the room about legacy? I really want to cut into that some because that just kills me. When people talk about the legacy of having children, the legacy of childbirth, it's like,
No other word makes my skin crawl like that damn legacy word.
you know what? It's so fucking crazy. It's cringy as fuck. It's like, number one, there's no legacy to that. I mean, you're not doing anything special or worthwhile. I mean, a fucking rat can have a child. A fucking roach multiplies. Bacteria and viruses also multiply. So, I mean, are they a legacy? I mean, do they get prizes for being for being in abundance? It makes no sense. It's like a person, a child is not a legacy. A legacy is something you build up, you work on for yourself. Like artists, they create art, music, writing, poetry, and you leave those things to be enjoyed by other people. That's a legacy. But a child is just a biological program that you that you
It's always the
obey.
most brokest, dumbest, bummest motherfuckers always running their mouths about legacy. I mean, are you serious? You have nothing. You have nothing. The only legacy you're passing down is 9 to 5 voyage slavery.
Right.
Whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo. Congrats. Now you're gonna have another person that's have to sit in traffic every day just to get to this place and work a soul crushing job that they don't want to fucking work. And in the near future, people are gonna have to work freaking 80 hours a week,
Fucking
maybe
crazy.
more, just to be able to afford their basic necessities in life. So whoop-de-doo, that's what you passed on. I mean, if we want to talk about legacy, if you have a computer, if you have access to the internet, you can look up the swap shop in South Florida, in Sunrise, Florida. I mean, it was built and created by a man. I mean, it was awesome back in the days. It was a place where people would go to shop. It had a circus. It had arcade games. It had a little attractions outside, rides and stuff that you can ride on. I mean, it helped people in the community make money because they were trading with each other, selling, buying, with each other. And he left it to his 2 children. And guess what his 2 children did? Oh, I forgot it even has a drive-through movie theater, outdoor drive-through movie theater. I mean, it was lovely back in the days. He died in 2020, I guess, from COVID. I'm not sure exactly what he died from, but he left it to his 2 children. And guess what his 2 children did? They ran it down to the fucking ground. If you drive past it now, it's nothing. They ran it down into the ground. So for people to believe that they're leaving the legacy, I mean, we can look at Michael Jordan. One of his children are a junkie selling drugs,
y'all see a Magic
but
Johnson.
he's still an amazing basketball player. It doesn't take anything away from him. But for people to believe that their child is their legacy, I mean, you have no idea what your child is going to come into the world and do.
Exactly. And that's another thing that they don't mention. Like they always tell their kids, you can be anything you want to be, or you can succeed at all these things. But what they don't tell them also is you could also be some pretty fucked up shit. I mean, you could come here and have some shit happen to you in life that fucks you up so bad you turn into a fucking serial killer. You turn into some kind of heinous rapist or something like that. I mean, you just all this shit in life that they try to promote as being so wonderful and grand has that element to it where it can go fucking wrong real
Far left.
fucking quick.
And I'm sorry, I left one thing out when I was giving her list of things that she extracted from her children. She got meaning, right? Because everybody knows that life serves no purpose. But when you have children, you get to say, oh, I live for my children, right? They talk about how it's so rewarding, and the whole thing is, oh, I'm working for my children. I'm saving up to give my children better lives. If if procreation did not serve your interest, you wouldn't have done it. And you certainly would not have done it 5 times. I don't want to share her personal information, but you definitely wouldn't have done it that second time. You did it because it served your interest. Otherwise, you would have used birth control.
Well, that's why I wanted to know how old she was to know if there was even birth control available at the time, because some people had no access to birth control. So that's why I was curious. But it is what it is. The kids are already here, so.
I just also feel like if you have children, you shouldn't burden them about how they should or shouldn't live. I think that once you have a child and bring that child into the world, you really have no say so in terms of moral superiority about how that child determines to live their own life, and the decisions that they make if they go away from the things that you teach them. For example, I was raised to be a good Christian. I was raised to be this guy who was a good Christian and all this shit, do the whole 9 to 5, do the whole societal thing. And when I said fuck all that, just immediately the criticism, oh, that's not how I raised you, that's not how you were raised. And it's like, who gives a shit? I mean, that's the thing about it, is when you bring somebody into life, it's unpredictable. You have no way to predict that person's circumstances or their actions, or how their beliefs might differ from yours. That's why I always laugh at people when they say, my kid's going to do this or that. According to who? Your kid might grow up and hate everything that you taught them. They might do the exact opposite of everything you said to do. And you would have no right to criticize them because you are the one responsible for their being here in the first place.
Oh, now these people have tried to label that as a defiance personality. Have you guys heard of it?
Oh wow, get out!
Yeah.
Have they really tried that?
Yes, it's called something defiant personality disorder. Yeah, these people are trying to label everything as a mental illness. If you are not with the program, if you're not with it, you're against it. Oh, now you have defiant personality disorder. Well, you have borderline personality disorder. They want to label every fucking thing.
The desperation is so fucking hilarious. Like, like what?
Yeah, oppositional defiant disorder. Yeah.
These motherfuckers are criminals, bro. That's my thing. Like, talk about all the crime. Whoa, Kenneth Law. It's crazy that his name is Kenneth. I was like,
last name is Law, right? Yeah. How funny is that?
Funny as shit. These see, and he's laying down the actual law. Like, this is all injustice. You know what I mean? Shout out to the guy for looking to assist motherfuckers that are not wanting to fucking be here, and we're already trying to fucking go. We're already going to go. So it's bogus. But yeah, the way that they're trying to get these kids with these diagnoses and shit, with all these different mental personality disorders, it's all.
It's just another way for the pharmaceutical companies to make more money. Now you're going to have to give your child some drugs, some prescriptions.
Exactly. That's a great point. Man, this is some gang shit going on. God.
Oh, it's like,
how is that a disorder? And I wonder, is that in the DSM-5? Because that was not previously in the DSM-5.
I'm telling you, they literally created this. They pulled it out of their ass because now they might see that people are becoming aware. Just like everything in life evolves, the human brain has to evolve as well. So the people that are being brought into existence now are asking, what the fuck are they doing here? Because the brain has evolved to ask these kinds of questions. Maybe, 50 years ago, people weren't asking those questions because people were still in their animalistic brains. But now that the brain is evolving, the brain has to want to know, what the fuck is this place?
I think children should be defined against authority. They did not choose to it. So good for them.
Yeah, that's just the funniest thing to me, like the hubris of it. Oh, how dare you not want to be a fucking slave? We're going to label you something crazy. I mean, can you believe this? Someone doesn't want to be a slave. Oh, we have to make them seem like there's something wrong. Like, what fucking sense does that make? That's like saying I don't want to get sick. Oh, therefore you're somebody who has a disease-defiant personality.
There was another term that Black slaves were labeled as well when they tried to escape slavery. I'm not sure if you can find it, illicit mind. They were even trying to label black people, black slaves that were trying to escape slavery. They labeled them as having a mental illness. So these people will go very far to keep people enslaved in every which way.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah,
But
it's
the
pretty
fact
Go
that
ahead.
they have to do all that shit just lets you know that the whole thing is a damn sham. The whole thing is a fucking sham. Like they tell on themselves by making all these different laws, by making all these different definitions that criminalize people for wanting to be free. That just shows you how inherently unfree their entire system is, and why it has no real legitimacy.
Was there a different term than that? Because I mean, this is already fucked up. But because you were mentioning they were kind of labeling it against like a mental disorder for this term. Was that correct? Your mic is muted if you may be talking.
It's called drapetomania. Drapetomania. DRA. Yeah.
Okay. Pseudoscientific racist mental disorder, coined in 1851, Dr. Cartwright, to describe insanity of enslaved people running away from bondage. Oh, that's crazy. And that's what I mean. Like, this world is insane. And so anything that's opposite of it, now they're going to call us insane when this is just obvious shit. You're in a bondage. You're trying to get out. You're insane. What the fuck? I'm tired of these people.
Man, tell me about it.
You can't do shit but laugh.
Right?
Crazy.
It's such a fucking bad joke.
Like, these people are sick. They're really disturbed.
At this point, I think it's just trolling. I mean, you have to be a fucking troll to say being defiant is a personality disorder. Like, what kind of fucked up shit is that? Like, what? Wanting to go against your own enslavement makes something wrong with you? What?
Right, it's a projection. The individual does not have a disorder. It's society that is disordered.
Exactly.
And that's why I shout out that one guy. I think we've all heard of him. That there's this new one that came up, and he's like, "I'm not gonna work" or some shit. You know, I didn't ask, I didn't consent to this existence, and he's been catching some different, eyes. I forgot. Shanghao posted this nigga on some type of Discord. But we these Gen Zs or even alphas, whoever. They need to stand up and be defiant.
Yes.
They need to continue to do the obvious shit and fucking just not put up with this. So there.
A young 21-year-old man recently went.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, this is the vid here. This guy, philosophical gamer, great channel for anyone that's like a millennial, Gen Z, any one of us. This one here, he goes into depth into why this guy here, is understandable. This fucking wretched system that we're in. You know what I mean? No one wants to fucking work. You know what I mean? No one and so it's sadistic or masochistic rather, what we're putting people to go through. And so I hope more people like this do this. It's like how Shanghao mentioned, he's doing nothing. That's a solution, right? In a clear respect. And with that, it's going to, again, with the steering of consciousness, these type of things, will make these type of points, this type of conversation easier, because what the fuck? There's these talks. Let me tell you, these talks are the hidden in plain sight shit. Talk about what's another term with like the occultism. These are just things people don't want to see or apparently can't see. But this is where it's at. And the more that these things can be put into the light and you can't go which way or that, no, we're holding you down to these points. I can't stand people that don't appreciate this when they're actually vampiric, and they're not wanting to admit it. Like that shit is just, it's just, as we said from the last talk we all were on before, the most dishonest, ignorant people, and we're around them day to day.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to me that they get surprised when young men come out and say things like this, or just in general, the younger generation, they are fed up with their exploitation, as they should be, and more of them are coming up to the forefront and leading movements against their own servitude. Like in China, for example, they have the lay down movement, I think it's called, um, where essentially let it rot or something like that, where they just say, we're fuck it, we're not doing none of this shit. We're not going to work these jobs. We have no benefit to doing it. I mean, we can't afford homes. So what's the point of doing any of this shit just to be enslaved and working day in and day out? It makes no sense. It's a system that won't be able to hold up. And right now we're seeing it crack because eventually it's going to get worse and worse to the point where people can't just ignore it. Like it's going to have to get addressed because people are fucking fed up. I mean, and then right now we're talking about how the price of living is already astronomically high for a fucking mediocre life. And now that's going to get worse. Oh yeah, we're going to see more and more of this happen. We're going to see more and more people stand up and actually say, we fucking don't want to do this shit because there's no incentive to. They're shooting themselves in the foot.
And they're lying people saying that the declining birth rates is going to reduce your quality of life. No, it's not. Your quality of life is demonstrably worse off because you have to compete with more people for jobs, for housing, for limited resources, for gasoline, for cars, for just even democracy is eroded by or diluted through the your individual vote is diluted by population growth. So everything about population growth actually reduces your quality of life. But they want you to believe that things are going to get better. That we have 8.5 billion people. They don't have enough jobs for the people who already exist. AI is taking a lot of jobs. So what future do these have? So the worse things get, the more there's going to be a greater demand for the right to medical assistance in dying.
Yep,
Exactly.
it's all of it. Go again, so if you want to say something.
How do y'all feel about people who say that we're actually working with the government's plan to depopulate?
Well, that's bullshit. I mean, it's obvious bullshit.
Yeah,
Like
because
if
we just started the conversation now with assisted means. There's many ways we can make this shit happen quicker that they're restricting. So what the fuck?
exactly, like right, they're restricting all the things that would give you access to end your life anyway. So there is no, if anything, I think it's the opposite. They have a population agenda. Like they're pro population growth. Right now, look at the Chinese government. They're complaining about people not having children and how they need more children. Mind you, China has like 1 billion people or something like that. So it's just they're trying to get things to go the opposite way. And here in the United States, they're also trying to impose pro-natal positions. So I think that whole thing is a crock of shit. There is no organized movement to depopulate the planet because all of these leaders and their governments are trying to get more people to breed more.
Right, and even I did content about Bill Gates. Bill Gates thinks that overpopulation is a third world problem. He doesn't think that it's a developed country like the West. He doesn't think it's a problem with the West. He thinks that the poor countries are basically the parasites that take the generosity. That's the term that he used. The generosity from the wealth. They get paper money. We get raw materials, natural wealth. We get gold, silver, diamonds, oil. In exchange, they get some paper money. So he actually it's the third world. I mean, it's the developed world. It's the Western world that needs to depopulate. Our way of life is not sustainable. We consume 20 to 60 times the amount of resources as those in the third world. So he supports depopulation, but not for the West. It's for the third world countries. Because they're drained on his worldview for a global economic system. By the way, Bill Gates has 3 children himself, which is above replacement rate.
Well, Okay, so here's where I might have to disagree with you a little bit. Um, this might sound harsh, but it's true. I have a problem, a very huge problem with third world people breeding the way that they breed. They breed a lot, more so than anybody in the West does. And anybody in these supposedly, allegedly better countries, all of these countries that have such life degrading poverty, India, you take Bangladesh, or all these different places that have extreme amounts of poverty, and people are breeding like rabbits. And now these kids are being born into systems of systemic poverty and suffering. So, I mean, it is a problem. Like, I don't think that we should be I don't think that's something that we can look over. I mean, third world breeding is a problem because of the circumstances. You are breeding people into poverty and enslavement on the levels that we in the West don't see ourselves. So it is a big problem. I agree. Like the population boom in these places is a disaster.
It's a problem ethically. I agree that they should not be born into those conditions. I'm talking about sustainability. I'm saying that the West consumes a disproportionate amount of resources that far exceeds what they're living off the land. They don't have a negative impact on the environment. Many of them actually have a negative carbon footprint. So if you're just hunting, foraging, your life is sustainable. It doesn't justify procreation because those children are still suffering. But we're talking when you talk about population control, it's dealing with sustainability, not ethics.
I think both should really be addressed. Honestly, I just don't see any solution in promoting, well, ignoring the problem of birth rates in these countries. It is a problem. It's a very big problem. And sustainably, I understand what you mean about the sustainability, the exploitation that Western countries impose, but I don't know. I think it's a very big, complicated problem.
My pushback is that he's basically telling them to not have. He's telling them to have fewer children, but he's basically telling the West to have more children, and the West is extracting their resources and enslaving them. So no, if we're going to prioritize it, the West needs to depopulate first. Everybody should do it at the same time, but I don't see the third world oppressing us. We're oppressing them.
But okay, so here's the thing though. In the West, we are already depopulating. Like the numbers in Western countries right now indicate that there is significant depopulation happening right now. That's why you got politicians like J.D. Vance up there talking about how he wants more Americans to have babies. And they're pushing this pro-natal agenda really hard here because we are already doing that. The places that have more education, that are more well off to do, are already declining as a population. Whereas the global south and these different countries that are full of poverty, disease, just all sorts of really bad life quality are growing in population. And when you mention this to them, it's just treated like nothing. Like they really don't care. These people have, a lot of them have no regard for the suffering that they're putting their children into by birthing them. They think it's a great thing to have as many kids as possible. So how do you even argue with people like that who see no problem in breeding children into perpetual states of poverty? But they're not going to decline on purpose. There are whole cultures that see it as their moral agenda to have as many children as possible. They're not going to decline childbirth, no matter how we might feel about it, how we think they should. They're not going to. So I mean,
I agree. We do have declining birth rates, but our population growth is not due primarily to fertility rates. It's due to migration. So most Americans reproduce at replacement rate, but when you factor in migration, it's a net growth. It's not a net loss. And so what they're saying is that we don't want the migrants to come in. We want certain demographics to reproduce because they're being replaced by these migrants.
Which is a stupid argument. I mean, it's you can't make any of this make sense with these people. I mean, breeding in general is fucking stupid. I don't care what part of the world you live in. Having a child is incredibly dumb. There's no benefit to it. But I'm just saying, even more so when you have, you know, substantial amounts of poverty and suffering, and I get and also exploitation, which is another reason why they shouldn't do it. But they, again, it's just not really concerned. But I do also see your point about how unfair it is to criticize them. But I don't know. I just think that it shouldn't be something to overlook. It is a really big problem.
They're just trying to maintain their power structure. Democracy is majoritarian. They want to make sure that they have a white majority. They don't like the fact that they're being replaced by, you know, these people from other countries. So I'll leave it at that, but that's really what it is. They don't really care about anybody's quality of life. It's just they want the numbers on their side.
Oh, I agree. I hear you.
Yes, it's just vampirism, you know. They need, because they think with that there's a culture with, I guess, you know, white culture or some shit, whatever. And these other subcultures coming in, it's like, oh, now it's less control in a sense. It's like, who the fuck are these people? Yeah, it's some bullshit. And in the term of those that are more so not in civilization and they're less of a carbon footprint and everything, and they're still doing what they're doing with procreating and everything, whatever. Like this talk today, like we know, if niggas want to go, let them go. You know, like there's no, I know there was somebody, which she mentioned, is there anyone that's like coming from the opposite side? And I don't know about you guys. I would obviously run it through you guys so first, but you know, for me personally, we can have it. You know, whether you witchy, I know you were just kind of asking that. I forgot where you mentioned that, but there's nothing to say. You know what I mean? Like my thing is be authentic. You know, be real. Let's not bullshit. Let's not just have an opposing side. Just have an opposing side. If these conversations, like some of them in the comments were saying, are happening, usually the framework is our side is like the one not valued or regarded, and it's just they're like someone said, like this is the truth. Okay, someone wants
Can
to go.
we bring her up?
Yeah,
Is that possible?
sure. That
Does she want to come up?
if she does, she can come up for sure.
I don't. I mean, okay, if she wants to come up, but why? I'm glad that and Against Life 1000 came back, because I want to talk about solutions and what we're actually going to do. I guess what she's saying is that this is an echo chamber. We're all disagreeing with each other. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there's nuance. Some on the panel, some of us want to legalize it. Some of us want to decriminalize it. Some of us, we're trying to figure out what's the right approach. So we all agree that people should have the right to die, but I don't think that there's a consensus among us about what is the best way to do it.
I would agree with that. That seems to be most of the disagreement in terms of like how we can accomplish it, because it can go different ways. I mean, then again, with any of these complex problems, it's not always going to be just one single black and white cut and dry solution. There are going to be discussions had about how to accomplish that.
Right, I'm a whatever works nigga. Like the
Me too. I agree.
decriminalize, like so, like how, like the points you were saying before, JC. That's why I wanted you on with Against Life. You know, to be, you know, because I know like you are astute in this, and yeah, decriminalization is the more feasible. Like we're just telling them back the fuck off. You know what I mean? That's it. Compared to help us give access, that takes more work, right? And so in terms of feasibility. And so that's why I was saying, like, I think we're all on it. I get your point in the nuance. There's definitely nuances, and we had different elements of that prior in this conversation. But we're I feel like all just whatever the fuck, you know, can get the job done. Let's do that. And
Can we write letters to Congress and maybe have petitions signed by people who want to decriminalize it? Is that because I know JC is he knows the law a little bit.
Yeah.
good.
I just want to read this quick little excerpt from my book about why my book was intentionally one-sided. We are intimately familiar with the other side's position. It has been imposed on us through every available channel since birth. We have been subjected to their framework not as one perspective among many, but as the only legitimate way to understand our own existence. The asymmetry is complete. They speak from positions of institutional authority and possess the power to compel our compliance through state violence. We speak from the position of those whose consent was never sought and whose autonomy is continuously abrogated. They need not justify the system, it simply exists and they benefit from it. We must justify our objections to our own enslavement. This book does not present both sides because the other side controls the meaning of presentation itself. What you encounter here is not merely an alternative viewpoint, but a perspective that is systematically excluded from the mainstream discourse, actively censored from most platforms, and pathologized when it appears. The dominant framework is not presented here because it requires no presentation. It is the water in which we swim, the air we are forced to breathe. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because in every other format, if I go on any other platform, everybody's going to dominate me. They're going to overtalk me, scream me down, and talk about how I'm crazy. I need help. We don't get this is rare form where there's actually 4 people who are on the same page for the most part. So in every other sphere, it would be the complete opposite. They would be the echo chamber. They would be saying, "Oh, it's so ridiculous that anybody would want the right to die. We should just give them palliative care." They want to gaslight you and say you already have the ability to do it. If it's up to you, Illicit Mind. If you want to bring her up, I mean, maybe she has some salient questions that can help, elucidate what we're talking about. But
Yeah,
it's not.
Go ahead. Sorry, finish on. Are you good?
I'm not sure. I don't know. It's your channel. I don't know. I don't know. I thought this was just us to like strategize on how to do it. I didn't really think this was like a debate type format.
No, it's all just a discussion. But I just wanted to at least talk about that point of the other side because I saw it in the comments and it intrigued me. Because yes, you're right. That other side has always been. It's the majority. It's always harped on. And so, to your point, in this type of dynamic where we're the majority, and now we're getting that other side looking like the minority. Not to say I don't even think she wanted to come on. She just kind of posed a question. I sent the link already, and no one has come into the whatever thing this is. I just wanted to make a point that kind of like the finding gnosis person, like these people, if they were to come on. Make your point or whatever, like cool, and it should be constructive is always my thing. Once it turns into the ad hominems and just redundancy, not relevant points, that's where I can kick them or whatever. But yeah, no, this talk is for this. It was just I saw that comment and that's why I wanted to run it through with you guys. And I'm sorry for kind of sending the link already and everything, but for a certain segment, if it were to happen, it would just be a segment, because yes, like you mentioned, we're all about solutions. And that's why, fuck with you and Against Life, Mark, Shanghai, Vazen, for being on that vibe, because all of us, we all, we're humans, we're complaining, you know what I mean? And so I have empathy with that, but at the same time, it's like, well, damn, like, what are we doing? And so like how you were mentioning Against Life, even if it goes nowhere, sending something to our state legislators, being on like these different points, but putting it in a format where it's all pretty and on the paper and shit, email. But we can get into that right now because no one sent the link. No one wants to come up because again, this is a truth. Like, what the fuck are you gonna say? You know what I mean? Like, if someone critiquing, like, oh, you can do this, like we were saying already, maybe try this, or if it's like that, I appreciate those, and so that's what I was trying to see. So I sent the link. No one's here. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, I definitely agree with what JC said because it's very true. And I've been online. I've seen a lot of these forums that they have, and they do attack people who bring up any kind of solution that goes in favor of pro choice in terms of pro euthanasia and end of life solutions. They automatically go to ad hominem attacks. They'll attack you. They'll say, "Oh, you're just crazy. You're suicidal, or you're just depressed." They don't take it serious. And so I agree with him. Like there are tons and tons of places already that's filled with that, and they really don't really care about having our say so in the discussion. It's just they want to degrade and deride us most of the time. Like I haven't seen any real discussions where pro um, pro suicide, pro euthanasia is discussed with any type of respect. It's always one side attacking us, and we just sitting there taking it and having to defend our right to say that we don't want to do this shit while being attacked and being labeled as crazy. So I definitely agree with what he's saying. We really don't have many places of our own where we can just discuss in agreement solutions that would get us to where we want to go.
Because like you've been saying there with that, Mark, they're not saying anything. You know what I mean? Like they're just saying bullshit. You know, that's all the ad hominems and just bullshit. You know what I mean? If someone's actually coming here and saying, "Oh, just critiquing and like it's reasonable," that I can fuck with. You know, if anyone was trying to do that, cool, I can respect that. But it's like I don't have time for niggas just coming here and bitching back to us. Essentially, like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here, and I would kick them. And so, yeah, that's the thing. Like we've been mentioning, there's nothing you can ultimately say. The only thing, if anything, is like, oh, maybe go this way instead of that. That I can be like, cool. But the ultimate gist for how we're all in agreement is niggas want to go. So let them go. Whatever is the fastest means to that. And so any pushback from that opposing side, like that's why I was saying, like this topic compared to ethilism, antinatalism, whatever isms, this one is an easy, you're not doing anything. This is someone else's fucking life. You know what I mean? So for this opposing side, the only opposition is the methods. You know what I mean? So that was kind of my like, you know, with like there was a comment like, oh, we need more anti-natalist, ethilists, people of this to do anything political. And yeah, without question, we understand. But still, you know, I just say, like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like, what are we? And so, even if it goes nowhere, you know that you're on that side and you're doing a drive to get these further things out there, and we're seeing it. You know what I mean? There's just different remnants of it. Like I mentioned, that one nigga that's a Gen Z doesn't want to work. It's all the same shit. You know, just getting these different points out, and there's nothing you can really say about it.
And I would say just attack the solution at any angle that you feel you're able to attack it from. Like if you want to write letters to Congress, if you want to stage a movement, if you want to protest, if you want to do whatever you want to do to get that voice out there, I say by all means do it. I mean, there's no right or wrong in terms of the solutions here. Like whatever you feel comfortable and able to do, you should do it.
Right.
Right. I'm willing.
There's no right or wrong.
I want to have a conversation about what is the best strategy, or if we're going to have multi-strategies. But what I'm not interested in is somebody like telling us, oh, this is a waste of time. You should just focus on helping other people. You should just go vegan. You should just be okay with being enslaved and just learn to accept it. I don't want to hear that. I've heard that too many times. Or they'll make these appeals to futility. Like when I was listening to that conversation with Illicit Mind and Shideo, you got pushback, but it wasn't helpful. That it's just like basically you're wasting your time even talking about it, so you should just shut this live stream down. Just focus on something else. Like that's not constructive.
Yeah, that was the Finding Gnosis guy, right? That you talking about, or?
Yeah, and I don't, you know, he's not here, but I've had many discussions with him, and I'm trying to figure out what his solution is. And let me stop because he's not here. But
well, he just goes into ad hominem attacks all the time. Like he's always saying, leaving troll comments on all the different lies that we do. It's just just there to be a complete troll. There's no real reason to be even engaged with him, frankly. He's not going to do anything but offer his opinion on why we're wrong and never on how he's right. It's just constant attacks about how this is a waste of time, or you can't do, you can't do, you can't do. I don't see any benefit of ever engaging him. Like, to me, he's just a common troll that has no real purpose but to troll people.
Yeah. So like you guys are saying, like if that's the intention with that opposing side, yeah, fuck that. It's no, like you said, we can get straight into it here with the most strategic, the most effective strategy. Because you've been killing it, JC. That's why I just wanted you to be sure you're. So thank you for being here. Because what like you said can go right from here. The decriminalization, I think we're all like, yeah, that's the easiest shit to like promote. And then in terms of like what else like is on your mind when it comes to like the most effective?
Well, well, I actually talked about in chapter 11 of my book. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything, but
What about creating a religion?
Now, that's an interesting thought. I
Mm.
like that. I like that. And it's possible. You can do it. You can create any kind of you can create any kind of religion that you want.
Yep.
Facts.
Make it a nonprofit.
People say like, oh, we chose to come here, da da da. Okay, and now we're making a religion about why this needs to. yeah.
Tax free.
And the tax, right? The 501c. Yeah. And it's the pulling on the heartstrings because the religion does that more so like the different like mythologies they put in religion, but that element is like a story, when it comes to religion. Yeah, I mean, listen, what shit, whatever. Because this is already that. Like, I remember somebody told me like you're in a cult. Sure, everything's a culture type shit, right? Cults in the name for culture already with human different sub way of life and living. So sure, so you can already say this is already a religion. We just have to.
I'm getting a call. I'll be back.
Okay, that shit always gets me. Go ahead, JC.
Let me make sure. But there's a lot in my book. I'm just going to try to get to the main points that basically stop being productive, stop allowing them to extract from your voluntary existence, stop supporting their causes, right? They want you to support their causes, but they don't want to reciprocate anything. They want to use you. Don't do anything unless it's in your rational self-interest. Don't go vegan. Don't support any causes unless they're willing to support yours. They have numbers. We don't have the numbers. So it needs to be reciprocal. And then I do have, well, I don't think any of these approaches are going to work, but my whole goal is to delegitimize it. So you can try to get legislation. They're not going to pass a law, or they're not going to decriminalize it. You can make judicial challenges, and I say in my book what those challenges should be. You can have civil disobedience. I talk about jury nullification. I talk about political asylum. And then cultural transformation. This stop congratulating people for procreating. Mm-hmm. You should actually congratulate those who are child-free. Don't reward people for procreating. Again, the purpose of my book is to delegitimize the system. I don't know that it's necessarily going to change the system, but I would say the political asylum thing, and I do explain in my book how that would actually work, that you're basically being persecuted for believing that you should not be forced to exist against your will. And so you can seek political asylum in another country that does allow for medical assistance. At the end of the day, I think we're going to have to go back to the drawing board and basically start with the fundamentals. To teach them why freedom is important, why freedom is actually more important than happiness. If you don't own your life, then you're not free and you are a slave. And you should not be okay with that. You should be ashamed of yourself if you're happy being a slave.
Right. And I do agree with the idea of protesting against the normalization of bringing children into the world, because I do that anyway. I think it's effective. We should stop praising and glorifying and giving them credit anytime they produce a slave. Like I can't tell you how many times I've had people say to me, "Oh, I'm having a baby," or this one guy, he said, "You know, I'm expecting my grandchild today, so I got to hurry," and he stood there and looked at me and he waited for the congratulations, and I gave him the solemnest look that I could muster. I didn't say a fucking word, just a serious look on my face of disdain and disgust. I didn't say congratulations. I let him know visually I am not going to congratulate you for that. I don't go to any baby showers that I'm invited to. I view that as a form of protest toward the life enslavement process. So yeah, we should definitely try to do our best to protest against it in any kind of way, while also making our voices heard and our position known that we're not for this, and we should have a say so in our own life and in terms of our own death as well.
Yeah. When you said that, but right, it's, I say a certain point. I don't know what the echo. Okay, it's not there. Cool. Yeah, we like, okay, the Shanghai with the anti-cosmic voidism, not even doing anything, because like you said there, that's a great. Thank you for saying that, Mark. You know, you don't even have to say anything. You know, when you get those moments, just blank stare, just continue on. You know, or whatever. At the very least, like how we say, when you don't fuck with something, just even don't say anything. Like in that case, we'll say, "Oh, I'm expecting it's coming in a few months." Don't say anything, you know, and let them sit there, you know, and whatever. And they're why? And now when they're asking, "Why aren't you?" There you go. Now is your time where you can just spill the beans and talk to them about this bullshit.
Yes.
That's great. Because again, that's just so perfect, going from the past stream with doing nothing. That doing nothing, you know, it's contextual. You know what I mean? There's different times where we're not doing something, right, or doing nothing, and that's the type of element right there. That type of instance, you know, where you get those encounters. Yeah, that like no one of us should be doing any promotion or any celebratory type of response. No, we have to make our way known whatever way, you know, and it starts with the family. And so, yeah.
Oh yeah,
man.
for sure. Definitely starts with the family first, because the family really is the first institution of the whole system. You know, the family introduces the religion, the family introduces the education, the family introduces societal norms and structure. And so that definitely is the first step of letting that disagreement be known, to the point where now, you know, my family, they know they know not to invite me to any functions where that shit is happening. They know not to invite me into to baby showers, because I'm not going to be there. They know not to bring up having children with me, because they know I'm going to counter that. And so it's like, or to join them in their prayers. I'm not doing that also. Yeah, it's just, there needs to be more pushback, and I think that the more we push back in any way that we're able to, even including keeping silent from praising them over that decision, I think that's a good way to go, and we should do it more often.
Again, Slive, how are you doing? I see we got a couple different devices up. You talking right now again, Slive?
No, I wasn't talking.
Okay. Were you gonna like want to share something on the screen or something? I see you pulled up another account
I
or
don't know
something.
why he's doing that, because I had to log off for a call, and
All right, we'll
I
keep
don't
it there.
know.
It's cool.
I hear my echo and everything, but I can't shut it out. I don't know.
Oh.
Damn.
Hmm. Do you have it up on any other thing other than the StreamYard?
Mm-mm.
We only have one device on the StreamYard.
Yeah, my cell phone.
And you still hear the echo.
Yeah, but I kind of like it.
Okay. But yeah, that's go ahead, JC.
Well, there's a lot of gatekeeping. If I were to put a term on it, they're trying to police our language, to say we should, like, they want anti-nazism to just be philosophical. We just have these endless debates, not actually do anything. They don't think that postmortalism should be included in this discussion at all. And I pushed back on it. That's why I had to come up with my own term. But I mean, even David Benatar has really taken a tepid position on the right to die. So I don't care what the other. I mean, I have my own book. Schopenhauer did not agree with Benatar. David Hume did not agree with Benatar. I think when you're presenting it in an academic manner, then you're going to police yourself, because you want to get published, you want to be taken seriously. So I don't think, I mean, this has to be taken out of the academic discourse. We need to be out in the streets fighting. We need to be educating people and resisting, and including civil disobedience and jury nullification. We can't just rely on the system to reform itself.
True.
Nope, it's not going to happen. It's going to take the other end for any change to happen. And yeah, people, let me not read comments going crazy over there.
But what do you think is the purpose of the gatekeeping? Why do they, if they don't want to go as far as some other people go, why do they have to push back? Why do they have to come into other people's spaces and tell them to not do anything?
It blows me. It blows me, JC. I can't imagine going to somewhere and saying that, like, the futility. Like, you don't, that it takes without saying anything. There's such futility. Oh, what you're doing is meaningless, or like, what?
And
It's
this,
just
and there's also more power play on their part. Like they're trying to exert themselves as being the ones with the better position. So they feel like they have the entitlement to come in and say, "Oh, you're wrong. I can just pollute your spaces and come and tell you that how you're wrong and you shouldn't do. Meanwhile, if you did the reverse, you'd be considered an asshole." It's like what the fuck? But
Right, because you could say the same thing about veganism. Oh, right. That's a waste of time. Why don't you focus on something else?
Exactly. There's always some type of power play dynamic where they want to try to dominate your opinion. I just say don't let it happen. Like, if they try to do that shit, go harder on it.
exactly, because I always say to that shit, like, you're of no futility. Get the fuck out of here. You're meaningless. When people say nothing matters, well, we're nothing right now. Material matter. We are nothing in this matter realm. You know what I mean? Nothing matters. Yes, that's us right now. Right? What are we doing? Right? And so these offhand comments that people say about that is people love not doing shit. You know what I mean? And so that's what it is. And so whatever is their comfort, they'll stay there. And so when they see anybody, even though they're in agreement in many respects, they're like, "Oh, you're trying to do something about this?" No, man, those people,
Right.
I get annoyed. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. And that's why I think a lot of them don't, because I think there's a few of them that might be listening or whatever, but they're like, that is so childish. Whenever I see that, like the one fighting Gnosis, he had that for many of his sentiment when he came on the, like, it's irrelevant. And I love seeing that, because it just shows their face. Like, these people, they just want to sit and complain. And, like, again, a lot of this is that in many respects, but like, we're talking about feasible things that we can do, things that people don't want to do, because it's just, my thing is like, we got to be doing something, and a lot of it is doing nothing. That's the funny part, because this reality and this culture, you're gonna see it. If you're around family or whatever, you're gonna see different remnants of this natalism or just promoting a life. And so those are the times, like, yeah, you should be coming from the other side and letting people know. We always have to be putting this in their conscience.
And I feel like most of the time also too, they're just afraid of freedom. Like they really have no desire to see anybody be free as much as possible as they can in their own lives. Like they want to defend institutionalized everything. Anything that tells you can't do that's what they're in favor of. They're in favor of the enslaving society. They're in favor of enslavement in general. And so anytime you speak out against that, you're going to be viewed as a threat because they like the slavery. They like being slaves. And so when we speak, our opposition is threatening to them. That's why they have to come up with all sorts of ad hominem attacks. That's why they have to come up with all sorts of definitions about how we're crazy. It's and you notice it's always them coming after us. Why is that? Because they're afraid. Mentally, they're afraid. They already know that we challenge the structure that they enjoy. Therefore, they're going to come and attack us. It's not always the other way around. It's like they're always the ones engaging first. And so I say when they do engage, then we should go all out too. Like, okay, since you bring it up, it's like, but they're always the ones who initiate.
The most recent critiques that I'm getting is the fact that I am against civilization. I think they're more disturbed by that than they are with like my anti-natalist critiques. The fact that I'm against civilization, they've made so many ad hominem attacks. They don't want their democracy, their oppressive systems to be dismantled. They were just saying, oh well, you want to go back to Africans with spears and loincloths. I'm just like, as if I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I'm an anarcho-primitivist. I think a lot of these problems were caused by civilization. I'm not going to say that it's the ideal thing, but even if those people are just living off the land, at least they're free. At least they don't have a state telling them what to do. They got their mud huts. A lot of them seem to be happy, and they're not oppressed like we are. I mean, of course, I can't do that now because I was not raised that way. I don't have the survival skills, but if I was born into that, I would look at it completely differently.
Right. So freedom, like you said, it's your life. Like it used to be the case. You go to other times in the past, like they didn't work as fucking much, man. Like you're like you mentioned, like your life is not your own. The state has it. And so like what type of framework are we working with right now? It's ridiculous. And so yeah, if you were placed into that, you see them, man. They're doing whatever the fuck they do. It's all relative when it comes to existence. It's just like you said, like the first 7 years of your life are so important. That shapes your entire reality and so much. Get them while they're young is a term, right? Get them while they're young. The first 7 years is and so yeah, for us now, we can't fucking do that. Like that's it's like the whole suicide thing. Oh, just kill yourself. No, it doesn't fucking work like that. There's these people are so ignorant. And so but yeah, I feel you when it comes to that anarcho. Well, I saw somebody put it in the chat too.
Anarcho-primitivism.
Yeah, primitivism. Yeah, I vibe with it. I completely empathize with it because yeah, like just extracting yourself away from the state, whatever way. And in terms of that type of concept, yes.
And also, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
This just brought up a good memory that I had about a conversation I was having with the Irish friend of mine online. We were talking, and we were talking about anarchy, and he mentioned to me how Ireland pretty much had the longest period of anarchy, like where they had like 1,000 years prior to the Tudors from England coming over trying to civilize them. But before that, they had anarchy. It was like 1,000 years of just an anarchist society, and it worked out fine. I mean, they didn't have all the oppression. They didn't have the English crown to worry about oppressing them. So, I mean, it can be done. It's just the fact that people are so afraid of not having their masters tell them what to do and when to do it. These people genuinely like slavery. There's no other way around it. Like they like to be enslaved, but it is definitely possible to have an anarchist society. It is possible, but they're too afraid. They don't want to do it because they fear being free. It's just the wildest thing to me. But go ahead.
That's interesting. I'm going to look that up. I didn't know about the Irish.
Yeah, he told me they had like I think it was close to 1,000 years where it was just anarchy in Ireland, like, and it was fine, and then the English came over with the Tudors and pretty much introduced civilization to them, which of course came with all the baggage of you do what we say. And of course, that's always enforced with guns and violence. So,
right, and the British family, like the royal family, is not even British. They're like German or something. And they immigrated. Anyway, I know that's not relevant, but they're basically imperialists themselves.
Correct.
Yeah, and man, that made me think about fuck, I had something I was trying to say. Golly. Yeah, Ireland. I think because there's something interesting about that country. I feel like because they have a history of indentured servitude too. But that's cool to know that they were on the anarcho primitivism. Just trying to like not have this imposition to everybody in the concept of a state. Yeah, it's just these different concepts like statism. It's just going to the whole thing. Like the all this is just leave us alone. All this energy, leave us alone. Um, and so to say anything against that, it's crazy. There's something else I was going to say. I might have to just think for a little bit, but I just want to give a shout out to Ireland too, though. When you guys were talking about that, like interesting country. Might have to look more into that country.
I don't know if Against Life is still here. Are you still here?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I guess I would be curious to know like where you are on your project. Do you need help? Or do you need to raise money? I actually have because I'm thinking about starting my own nonprofit, but mine is going to be more activist. Like I want to work with the libertarians to get them to take a policy position against the criminalization of medical assistance, and I want to decriminalize it in at least one state in the U.S. But I don't know if there's anything we can do to help you with what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I do need help. I posted it on my community page, asking if anyone could create a website. I was gonna hire somebody, but I think I'm gonna try to do it myself. But if anybody can do it, they have the ability to do it, I don't mind paying. Just send me an email.
Yeah, I think I can help you with that. I guess we need to talk about what you actually want, but I don't think it'll be too difficult.
Thank you. And then other than that, no, don't really need help with anything else.
I still use the same email address. I still use the antinativsinformant@gmail.com, but I can email you also. We can.
I remember you did email me, and I sent you a reply. I never got a response. I don't remember what it was about.
Oh, I was asking you. You said you did some. I think it was about you. You did a video about the methods, and I didn't see it, but I don't think I saw your reply. But that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
I don't think I saw it.
I'll look for your email.
It's just so nice to have people who are actually trying to do stuff instead of just sitting around like complaining and just I don't know, just stroking each other's egos. Like we need to actually do stuff. Like I would like to actually get a nonprofit. And Pastor D, I don't know if y'all know Pastor D. Pastor D said he would help me with fundraising.
I'm not sure who that is. I haven't heard of that person.
It may sound familiar though. Pastor D.
He's always on Finding Gnosis' channel.
Okay. Yeah, that's why like on my main kind of section of the channel, like I kept my videos limited because like this shit is like already preaching to the choir. And you know what I mean? But like I have all the respect for anyone that's listening that's already at this point. You know what I mean? It takes a certain mind or certain whatever to, come to this quote unquote solution for not putting any problem on any future lineage. It's a big deal. We need to come to this current realization of that. But from there, yeah, what else are we doing? I can't, just continue no, let's be productive for sure. And a nonprofit, whatever works with joining hands you mentioned with like the libertarians, because that would be the type of political person that would most gravitate to something like this. Whatever. And when I see,
My goal, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. My goal is to get this on the platform for the 2028 election cycle, so that every presidential candidate is asked, "What is your position on the right to medical assistance in dying?" I mean, they're going to have to take a position because we're going to be in everybody's faces, forcing them to take a position.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I just fuck with you so much, JC. That drive, man. Because people just they want to come to the point where it's now there. Oh, we now see these things on TV. You know what I mean? Oh,
Look how
now the
people react
president.
to MAID.
What was that?
Look how people react to MAID, the program in Canada.
Oh yeah, they go crazy about that.
What's going on over there?
Their program made, I think it's limited assisted suicide offered through their healthcare system. But it gets a lot of pushback. I mean, I've heard people been put on like permanent wait list for it and all sorts of things.
Yeah, this shit is just a fucking trap, man. I'm just when Jay-Z said that, I just was like, yeah, any one of us would want to see a reality, whereas to the face of a presidential debate or whatever. Now, if these are questions like we're seeing nationally posed, because it will further, these conversations. And once people are talking more, I don't know. I don't fucking watch people talk about this, I guess, because like I'm just like, what is there to say? This is again the term vampiric is all I just keep going back to when it comes to any such rebuttal against what we're trying to mention and bring into light. But yeah, because what I was saying too from before was again anyone listening to this would like be happy to see that the president is or whatever, such candidates, they're talking like some actual hot shit. Well, how is it going to happen, right? People like JC and doing that, we should support them, right? And so that, if that were to be a future reality, it's not going to happen if no one's doing anything. So we have to just continue pushing the needle. And so continue with your channel. I will continue to support and promote your channel, JC. Because all it is that people are waiting on a platform, even me, relying on you, in this case of building a nonprofit organization and lending hands with other political advocates to certain degrees. But from there, it's all the bridge. I'm fortunate to have a form of community already in this YouTube channel, but it needs to be more in your proximity too. Not feeling like you have to like hide this, because I mean I'm sure many of us can feel that sentiment, because everyone's the natalist culture, man. It's everywhere, but we have to be comfortable having these talks. So the more you can do it, that's it.
Right. I mean, any kind of effort is useful. Any kind of pushback is useful because the other side pretty much has their agenda 24/7 promoted. Like there's no question about it. It's just everywhere to a point where their idea is the dominant belief, and they act like that's the only one that there is. And they usually don't give people like us even the chance to voice the opposition, because that's just an entire threat to their entire system. So I mean, we really should try to get our voices out there a lot more in whatever way we find possible. But again, just being able to protest it as much as we can and however we want to do it, I think that's also effective.
Yeah, whatever works,
Right.
even doing
Right.
nothing, like it ain't gotta be deep, you know what I mean? Like it's just like we all have our own relative comforts. And so it's a battle of your own self. Talk about battles of wills. We all have like a spiritual side. rather, just two dichotomies in terms of your physical self right now and just mental, where it's like, you would rather not be doing certain things. And so let alone anything outside of you, what are you doing, against your own opposing viewpoint of yourself, because that doing nothing can clearly be nothing. You know what I mean? And that's already a political statement, any type of statement, a life statement, with you not, being productive in this society. That's why I fuck with Shanghai, you, Mark, just saying like, no, because any one of us should be of that accord. And I need to get to that point, where it's just like, no. That's why, again, I shouted out that one nigga, the one Gen Z dude. There needs to be more, that are making that stance, against life, a stance against life, in whatever way. We need to promote those people, because it will make these conversations be more, and hopefully it can bridge it to now other possibilities are easier to happen. Because this is all just the entropy. This is all math, it's only but gonna take so much. We can only take so much until things are gonna have to happen. And so this is just, again, I say math, what's going on.
Exactly, and that's pretty much what I think about it. Because shit, even right now, the process is already underway. Because as things pick up with just the AI problem, think about how many jobs and things like that that's going to take away from the public sector. Just going to be knocked out the park. And again, rising costs for everyday living expenses. People are going to eventually take to the street. They're going to take to their congressman, whatever else they feel like they have to do, and bring this to the forefront, because it's going to reach the forefront. Like, this is not a sustainable system at all. So that's already going to pick up, whether they like it or not. It's going to happen. And I mean, more Gen Zers are coming out the woodworks. I mean, all over the world. I mean, China, the United States. It's going to get worse as things worsen. So it's like it's already going to take place. It's just a matter of time, and the pressure is mounting that to happen faster.
Against life, what's on your mind right now? What you got to say?
I don't really have much to add to the conversation. I'm just ready to get started. Baby steps,
I know you said
I
you were
don't
wage
expect things to
slaving.
change overnight.
I'm sorry. I know you said you posted that you were wage slaving, so I hope things aren't too bad on your end.
Oh yeah, I just put my 2 weeks in.
Oh, nice.
You got what you needed from that one position. You don't need it no more. That's good to hear.
I'm ready to chill, relax,
Good.
start
I hope
working on
that
more
goes
productive
wonderful for you.
things. Thank you. I'm tired as you can hear. And I'm supposed to go work out. Lord have mercy.
Good luck. You don't sound like you're ready for that. But yeah, JC, is there anything currently that you have to next mention or anything?
No, I'm going to continue. I'm trying to get some. There are two content creators who agreed to interview me, and I'm going to be talking with the Libertarian Party. Pastor D has already agreed to help me raise money. I am looking for 2 directors for my nonprofit, but if I don't find them on YouTube, I may just have to, recruit them through.
I think that's what your email was about, and I was down for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then. Yeah. We need to get back in contact and see what we can do.
Yes, for sure.
Because this to even file a nonprofit, I'm going to need to have at least 2 directors, and then I can start raising money.
So I read that we have to run our objective of the nonprofit to the IRS. Is that true?
Yeah, but you can make it as vague as you want so that you can like have some wiggle room. And then when you create your bylaws, you make it, I mean, you can sort of tighten it, but your charter does not have to be that specific.
Mm-hmm. So there's loopholes. Okay, good.
It just has to be for a public purpose. That's all. So as long as it serves a purpose, it doesn't. I don't know. You just have to be careful about how you word the
Word
language.
things.
Yeah.
Well, let me take the moment out right now then there were some different comments we have on our personal private Discord from my boy Vazen. And I'll look to, I haven't read it yet. He had an extensive version, and then he had a bit of a not as extensive one. So I'm going to pull that up here, and we're going to go through that because it's a complimentary set of commentary with this discussion we're having. So I'm going to pull it up here, and we'll check it out. Let's see.
By the way, Giz Life, have you heard my soundtrack to my book, my anti-natalist music?
No.
Oh, I didn't even know you did music.
Yeah, I created a new channel just for that, and then I'm going to be doing some more art for, related to my book and my philosophy.
Oh, nice.
Is the page on now? Is that the page?
Awesome, bro. It's good to see it. What's the channel, JC, for your music channel?
I'm going to put it in a private chat.
Got you. Is this the screen that's sharing? Okay. Let me. Yeah, I want to check that out. That's cool to hear. So my boy Vazen here. I'm starting here from the top. He says, and if you are basically in a relationship with somebody, especially if it's a romantic relationship, then you know what? Both you and your partner may as well support suicide philosophically. And if you guys ever want to make any point, I'll shut up in the moment. You know what I mean? Because I already want to make a point. Like, this is why I've never been in a relationship with somebody. Like there's things philosophically, like we have to be mentally, when people say, oh, the personality of what holds it, right? The looks can only be of a certain, it only will go so far, because like talk about all this political talk we've been talking about. It's crazy to me that like someone can like be married or whatever together and they're having opposing political viewpoints. I don't know. These humans are just a trip. They're a fucking trip. How the fuck are you with somebody and you don't have similar mental viewpoints? I don't know.
I think many people just want to avoid being lonely.
What was that?
So true.
What'd you say?
I think many people just want to avoid loneliness.
That's exactly what it is. You're right. I keep forgetting. Like, I'm thinking myself, like, no, you got to think like a regular human. Yeah, they just don't. I don't give a shit. My name is Uno for a fucking reason. Fuck all this other shit, man. I'm not gonna be with somebody that I don't like. What the fuck? What are we doing? What fucking just sitting around with somebody that don't even like? These people are so fucking pathetic. Like the legacy shit. Fucking legacy. You're with somebody that you don't even fucking vibe with like that. Like these people are fucking lame, bro. I can't fucking deal with them.
They also hate being by themselves. Like they can't stand it. Like, that's why so many of them were just, quitting during COVID lockdowns. Like they can't sit with themselves. They have to have somebody constantly validate them. So, and they always look at you like you're crazy.
I don't know if you're still talking, Mark. I heard you last say, yeah, they always look at us like we're crazy. I don't know if you were sound like it went off for a moment if you may be talking. But yeah, let me look to continue reading. Again, cut me off or whatever, guys, please. But here he says, we are not here to be suicidal for extreme doom and gloom, self-pity reasons ever, but for dark, infernal, Luciferian There you know how to pronounce this. Lilithian, anti-cosmic Satanism, philosophical reasons. Again, if you two do not be about that, then maybe you should not deal with each other at all and go your separate ways, because we should not be here to do high school lovey-dovey stuff and then do victim blaming, guilt tripping nonsense. Once serious shit like this comes up, especially if both of you already be in the endarkment stage, especially if both of you already see how much this universe constructed by the hollow demiurge is being a supermassive prison of restrictions, and how we must head back to our true primordial causal, causation selves. So again, go be about that chaos apotheosis shit. And once the time comes, may you two die for each other or die together, and do so like demonical, man, I can't even say these terms, forces of annihilations like the esoteric, the warriors that you would be. Now he says, do what you must into the abyss. Let me just say that. I'm not going to try with that shit. I shall make a lot of edits. Okay. Again, you guys cut me off. You have anything to say? Go ahead.
Who touched this?
Vazen in the chat. He has another name for what he got here. I can't even pronounce that. I'm not gonna.
Oh, okay.
My name on the Discord is Zahusta. Alternate name on YouTube we got here is that, originally known as Vazen. So yes, I'm talking as if y'all niggas know. Yeah. But yeah, he has a way with words, as you can see, and he took the time out to make these things. And so I'm just trying to further enlighten or echo it in the ethers for anyone currently listening or soon to come. Yep. Again, let me know, guys. Just say some shit and I will shut up if you have anything to say. I'm just going to continue on currently. He says, if a being that you know has self-exited, you best celebrate, not miss them in energy vampire ways. And yes, that's what I mean. Like, if I see anybody go out and I know them, I will make sure that point is, because think about it. Everyone's crying, oh, how they're gone.
How do y'all feel about parents going out? People with children.
People with children?
Mm-hmm.
How do I feel about them?
Yeah, taking themselves out. While they have living, breathing children.
Yeah, go ahead. Whoever was talking, go ahead.
I think that nobody who has children should be allowed to opt out. And this is not the state regulating it. This is those who would assist. I think that if you have children, you owe a moral debt for life enslavement. I talk about the 4 duties that you owe to your children. But one of those duties is that you have to leave them an inheritance. And if you have not accumulated sufficient wealth to leave an inheritance, then you should not have the ability to opt out unless your children discharge that debt. That this is a moral debt, not a legal debt. So if you have children, then you should have to get consent from all of them. You owe a debt to all of your children, and you don't get to opt out until they have discharged that debt. It's not regulation, which I'm saying this has nothing to do with the state. This is my recommendations for those who would assist, that they should not help them if they have children.
I agree too. Thank you for that, JC. Mark, because you were supposed to, you go ahead. Where was I at? Fucking You cool with reading it, Mark, right? I don't want to just force you to do it, but you know.
I would love to read that, but unfortunately, I can't see any of these words.
I can't see it either.
Oh, word?
Yes.
Oh shit.
They're very tiny. I can't read that.
Oh shit. Well, you can pull it up on your phone or whatever, and you know what I mean?
Oh, well, hold on. Let me try that then. Wait a second.
Some of these terms, man, I'm struggling. Shit.
Let me try to help you. Where are you reading it at?
On that private Discord we got. Let me send you the link on your phone.
Okay, great.
Cool. Damn, that's how it be looking. Y'all not saying that? It's not, you look like some shit. Okay, okay. Maybe it looks okay. Maybe like because I'm usually like on my computer. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad for anyone streaming. But I don't know if anyone in the comments. But thank you for letting me know, guys. I didn't know it looks small. Fuck. I try to zoom in, but good to know. Good to know. It's gonna have to work for anyone that might be. But of course, it's just we're reading, so you know, Mark is gonna look at it here. Um, boom, 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 for the portion because he was saying Vazen. Once you finish reading that message, scroll down to the new messages. The one I was reading, Marcus, was the one at 4:07 from yesterday. I just finished like the second line, starting now if a being was to die was the next part.
407 from yesterday. I'm trying to scroll and see if I can find that one. 407. Well, what day was that? That was
Yesterday? It should say yesterday on it.
okay. Yesterday.
And it might be like a 6:07 for you. Sorry, that's true with the time zone shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that definitely could be it.
Yeah, there was a 7, maybe 6:07 that's gonna come up for you 2 hours ahead of me. There was one after that, maybe 6:21. Or you can just look at the one most recent. I mean, I just wanted to put out some of the ones that you know, my boy Bazin was doing. So
Oh, okay. So, well, he just put one out here. If you don't mind me reading it.
go ahead.
Okay, it says the title of it is "Suicide is Being One of the Most Honorable Ways Ever to Go Out," and he says we must understand that suicide is not being an act of cowardice, but an act of infernal self-liberation, of anti-cosmic self-deification, of apotheosis, and more. Instead of waiting until you die in some stupid ass accident, or until you die of old age, or if you die of some heart attack way later on in existence and more, you shall go out of your own way to be one with the primordial void as soon as possible and on your own terms. In any other way, particularly the ways that were not on your own terms, is atrocious, dishonorable, disrespectful to oneself. So, like, you know, dying of some stupid ass accidents or some shit like that you didn't decide for yourself. Disgraceful, pathetic, etc. Why? Because again, they were not of your own terms. For you have let existence or external circumstances decide how you must die instead of having yourself decide on that, on how it must happen instead. Unacceptable. We must go back into oblivion in our own ways, because by doing that, you infernally go against the cosmic order and against your hollow survival instincts, and go against the clown circus that we call society and their patheticness and fear of death that also project into their fear of death on you, and the guilt tripping nonsense as well. Now, if you want to erase yourself out of existence, then may you do so once you be ready to do so and under the right circumstances. For if for it is being your own decision to make, and it is being your own existence which you never even asked for, whether it be by blowing your own brains out, or hanging, or jumping off an extremely tall ass building, or just doing or just going multiple days without eating and drinking anything, and just laying down and dying, and all of that, then so be it. Okay, then he goes on to a final point here. He says, the only few issues would be at which correct time would you be doing so, in which place, etc. Do you be alone, completely alone, etc. Make sure that whatever method you use, you do not fail easily. But if you do fail an attempt, then well, it is being what it is being. And yet that comes to a second point where if you fail, then make sure that you failed while completely alone, which is also true because a lot of people try to commit suicide and they fail, end up being found by people, and then you get like that guy, I forgot his name. He ended up in the hospital, paralyzed for the rest of his life. But continuing, and then slowly bleed out alone in the void. Because if you did not, then some clown asshole would intervene and then rescue you against your own will, and then force you to an existence of a support machine, and then keep you there as long as possible. And we are not trying to have that. So do it alone, even if that means you travel extremely far into the woods or something, which I agree with 100%. If you're going to go that route, don't do it in a way that you'll be found by people, because they will guarantee try to keep you alive and on breathing machines and all sorts of things like that.
Who wrote that? Do you know?
That was Vazen. He goes by Zatusta in the comments.
So that was in Discord. Is that where you found that?
Yeah, that was in the
Yeah,
Discord.
You in the chat there, JC? Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the Discord. Yeah, that's what he posted yesterday at 1:40 p.m. on my time.
Good. That's actually, yeah, that sounds a lot like David Hume, but it goes a little bit further than David Hume.
Yeah. Great
Making
stuff.
addendums. right. Like my boy Bazin. I remember when I had that one stream with Shanghai. I think it was the first one we had just on the one-on-one, and then Bazin came in, and my boy was going off. I mean, I don't know if it was off the cuff or what. It's like, my goodness. I mean, so I knew for, when you type, you take a bit more time out and intention with what you're gonna, and he has a way with words, and I just love the different love the different guidance he has to say, especially in this type of topic, because this topic is very sensitive, and like you're saying too, with that point he was making, things can get fucked up and wrong, and so that tip of doing it without anyone around you and that stuff, because we've seen the cases where they put you in further bondage in a vegetative state, you know what I mean? Who wants to be in that? And that's a possibility you can run if you're around other people. If you're
yeah, it's very serious. It's very serious. There was a story about that years ago. I forget. I think the guy was in his 20s, and apparently he tried to commit suicide, and it went left. Well, his mother found him, and they took him to the hospital, and he couldn't move. He was paralyzed. He couldn't do anything but fucking blink and breathe. And so, they asked him if he wanted to die, then to blink twice or something. And he blinked twice, saying, yes, he wants to die. Do you know what they did? They denied him. His mother instead took pictures next to his paralyzed body, smiling and trying to get sympathy for herself. Meanwhile, her son is there suffering in fucking agony, can't move or anything. It's like, this is so fucked up. And that's the thing. Like, this is nothing that kills me. These parents, these breeders, who when their children try to commit suicide or something, they want to get all the sympathy for themselves. It's like, oh, look at me, I'm just so hurt, and then they make it a whole thing. It's like, no, it's about the child. The child had to suffer and try to commit suicide just to get away from the suffering that you imposed on them. Like, come on, like, let's not play the whole I'm the victim here. No, the person who suffered enough, who tried to do that, they're the actual victim.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to mention that earlier, but there's this woman in Canada who, her daughter committed the S word, and then she did this whole video just making it all about herself, talking about how wonderful she was, and basically at the end of it, she said, I just wish you would have given me some grandchildren. I'm like, what the hell?
Wow. Wow. So fucked
I
up.
wanted to review it on YouTube, but I don't know if YouTube would give me a strike or something.
That's so fucked up. And they
Yeah, I
think like
think I
that.
have it
Even to the
pulled
bitter
up.
end, they feel entitled.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean with the strikes. I got to be careful too with this YouTube shit. But like you said the gist. Thank you for saying that, JC. And yeah, it's the entitlement, bro. Oh my God, it's just the slimiest shit, man. It's like you said, Mark, the person's suffering right there, and it's like, no, look at me, feel bad for. Oh my goodness, this game we're playing is so ugly, bro.
And the
Wow.
doctor had already made like 2 attempts, and she was just like, she kept putting her in treatment facilities and trying to like talk to her or whatever. The girl was miserable. I think she was like sexually violated and by a family member, and she just never really went to back. She never really went back to being the same. And the mother was just, I don't think she really had any empathy. Like she had, I mean, there's a difference between cognitive empathy and effective empathy. Most people don't have effective empathy. They understand it on like and on an intellectual level, but they can't actually like try to put themselves in your shoes because they're so selfish. They just think they pretend that they do, but they're really thinking about themselves. How does this affect me?
Right. Right. They always want to get the benefit of it for themselves. And they never ask the question, what made the child feel that way? They never ask what circumstances were there to mentally torment that person to the point where they had to commit the act. It's always go straight either for blaming or for glory farming in the sense of, look at me, oh, I'm the one that needs this attention right now. And like you said, like it's always about them at the end of the day. They never make it about the children. They never make it about their offspring who have to deal with their shitty choice of putting them into life slavery. It's always about them at the end of the day. Like people didn't think in my family, they didn't think that I was serious about not having a child. Like I had an aunt ask me one time, she's like, well, don't you want to have give your mother a grandchild? Don't you want to get and I said, why would I want to do that? What benefit if I don't like my own fucking life? Why would I turn around and then create another life who's going to be just like me at some point and not like life? Just so somebody can say they have a grandchild. That doesn't make any sense. It's retarded. Like what?
And one of the things that was disturbing about that little documentary is that, like, in and out when she was in and out those treatment facilities. I guess she put on a fake smile so that her mom would feel better, and her mom basically used that as evidence that she was getting better. Oh, she was getting better, and then out of nowhere, she just decided no, she was not getting better. She was performing to make you feel happy, and they don't understand that. They have no self-awareness at all.
None.
I was muted. Brother Marcus, he mentioned Munchausen syndrome. Jeez Louise. I think that's what we're talking about here. It says this is a disorder imposed on self, a severe mental illness where individuals feign induce physical or psychological symptoms in themselves to gain attention or the sick role. Patients often have extensive medical knowledge, frequently change doctors, and may undergo unnecessary, risky surgeries. So it said it right there. What's it called? To gain attention. It's a mental illness. I'm glad they have that at least for this term. For people but like every fucking nihilist and all these people, man, are that. These attention sick people, man. It couldn't be me, man. It couldn't be me. And it's tough when it comes to those type of elements. I mean, we're watching it on like a news story, on a news channel. Even if it was real life, it's tough, man. I tell you, I have all the respect for people. If that's something you encounter and you're like, you talk shit to them because they need to be put into light how this is fucked up. And like you mentioned, Mark, I think you mentioned cognitive empathy. Like they might understand it, but effectively they're doing what they're doing. I don't know. It just blows me. It blows me because That's what we see. You know, I mentioned the suicide prevention shit. These people are just so ignorant, bro. I have nothing to say. I mean, I just saying the same shit, but like, god damn. But shout out to you, brother Marcus, for that syndrome. I didn't know. I never heard that before. Very complimentary for what we're talking about right now.
I don't know if you guys are interested, but I did post a link to my music, so that if y'all want to check that out whenever you want, and it's in a private chat.
Oh, hell yeah. All right.
Yes, I got it, and I will definitely look at that because I don't, when it comes to music, like I don't even listen to lyrics because what the fuck are people talking about? You know, like these people, like it's just the tunes, you know, like it's just a drug. Let me just extract the good instrumentals and shit. Cause yeah, these people, they just talk about their own trauma or trauma that they're not even living. Fucking, they're not even gangsters or whatever the fuck. It's just a bunch of fakery. So yeah, when it actually is something relevant with the lyrics, you know what I mean? It only intensifies the lyrics when you don't always get bombarded with people's fucking lyrics with music. So yeah, I'll definitely check that out, JC. And I posted from before, and I'll look to show it again because you had a soundtrack for your book. You know, man, you got such a drive, bro. Man, I fuck with you so much, bro. Yeah. Like the fuck. I'm just glad to have connected with you from that initial time, from that few years ago. You know, and we're here doing it again. Similar people all together. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, I just listened to that last night, by the way, because I was just like, I wonder if there was anything in there in that live stream that that is still relevant today. It's like all of it is still relevant today. Everything we talked about is still relevant, and that was like 3 years ago. It's just so crazy to think that some of us have been on YouTube for so long.
Yeah, been a while.
We're still in this bitch. Because what the fuck else are we doing? You know what I mean? I gotta, like, this is what I mean. Like, if I'm coming out with something, like, it still has to be like a different, like, I don't want to just be repeating the same shit. You know, I have the next stream coming up, mental health psyop. It's still a lot of similar obvious points, but it's hitting at a different like perspective of things. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I just there's too much of us that know these points, and we have to, you know, don't just come out and just post for some fucking dumb shit, you know what I mean? But like these things matter, you know what I mean? Like there's people that look forward to your next video, Mark. Like when's that, you know, stream or some shit like against life 1,000. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, and it only intensifies further, whether we like it or not, or know it or not, woo woo for what I can say next. But it then permeates these other fucking Gen Z's people saying, yeah, I'm not going to work or all this other shit. Like it's just an echoing, you know, it's a downstream of things. And so, I encourage anyone that's like listening or whatever, like just fucking like who the fuck, we're just regular fucking people talking shit about the world, you know what I mean? And trying to think up of ways to eradicate this bitch. Everyone should be doing something to that extent, just like my boy Bazin with the comment we were going through. When it comes to like your significant other and being philosophically in the same wavelength, what are you doing online? You know what I mean? I know, like, yeah, you're listening with us or whatever, but like produce, like creativity is it. Like just continue echoing this. You know what I mean? Like it comes from me. My point, like for me, I'm not again with like the different videos. Like I'm a streamer at this point. Like I'm not just gonna say some shit unless it's like, I don't know, like something in the news happened where it's really crazy or so. Like I have nothing else to say. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to connect with people and like bring up to like the Against Life and UJC and people that are like doing things and trying to promote more things than just complaining. You know what I mean? But if you haven't made a YouTube channel yet or some shit, talk some hot shit. You know what I mean? Like build people that want to and connect with more people that may not know or maybe of a, you know what I mean? Like I've got the t-shirt with that, you know, at this point, this is where I'm at with the streams and shit. And, but yeah, cause, there's just nothing else going on. Yeah. There's many things we can cope, you know, that's easy, whatever. But like, this is, I say God's work, but this is like the anti-cosmic God. I'm just saying these terms, but you get my drift. Like this is our purpose here. talking about this shit, you know, and doing anything to the extent of acting upon what we're talking about. Yeah, man, I was gonna say I always be forgetting what I'm about to be saying. I think it was in the chat. Yeah. I think they had some different points in the chat. We got Witchy. She said here that I'm a statist who thinks eugenics is the solution. As a statist who thinks eugenics is the solution. I'm kind of anti-natalist, I guess. Breeding should be regulated. These unwanted and unsupported children are where all the crime and mental illness.
Well, I think that's going to come in anyway. I mean, even if you did have a completely eugenicist society, you would still have crime and some sort of suffering happen anyway. You might not have as much of it. Granted that you'll have less, but it'll still be there. It'll still be a problem. Uh, but well, to be honest, I mean, frankly, there is a point to eugenicism. I mean, why would you want to have more children who have obvious defects of mental impairment, who have a biology that promotes different diseases and all these things? Why would you want to continue that? I mean, it's like these parents who have these genetic tests and they find out their kid has some kind of gene that could leave them with some sort of lifelong defect, and they have them anyway. I mean, that should be illegal. Like, you talk about all the things legal and illegal. You want to talk about illegal? That should be illegal. To force somebody into a body that is breaking down or broken, and they can't do anything about it, all because the parents felt they had a right to impose that with their shitty genetics. So I partially agree with eugenicism, but I don't agree that it should be that only certain people should breed. I think no one should breed. I mean, you can't guarantee the safety of your children in any way, shape, or form when you bring them into life. They're going to die, which is a fact. They're going to suffer, which is a fact. So there is no getting around those two. You might have less, but you're still going to get that same outcome.
What's your response to this, JC?
I disagree. I mean, I'm an anarchist. I don't want the state involved. I mean, I think people shouldn't procreate, but to regulate who's allowed to procreate and who's not, we already know how that would work out. We already know who they don't want to procreate and who would be allowed to. So that would just be a dystopian nightmare. So yeah, and then forcing like teenage males to get a vasectomy, no, I don't support that type of gratuitous violence against innocent children.
Against life, you got anything to say? Not sure if you were saying anything. I know you're muted right now. Please, whenever you got any, we always appreciate the female perspective. Like again, we always shout out the female, whatever it's like. We're all, for the three of us here, males and shit. Like we're always yapping and shit. And so whenever you have anything to say, like we are further in tune. Like hold up, against like she just dropped. But like it's just so valuable when you hear the female lens, you know, voice. Because this can get so dominated with the masculine side of things, even though it's the same sentiment ultimately, but it just adds a different dynamic and nuance and bridging certain people to better hear these points. So yeah,
but I do kind of, I'm sorry, but I do kind of want to jump in just one more, just a little bit to respond to what JC said, because I don't want to give the wrong impression that I'm somehow some sort of statist. Like I am not a statist whatsoever. I was just saying in terms of her comment, because you know I really don't want, I don't want people to think I'm some kind of statist or who needs the state. No, I'm just saying like in terms of perspective of her comment. I was just saying that I agree kind of with the premise of eugenicism. Not that I agree with the state mandating or anything like that. I don't agree with state anything. So, but yeah, I just wanted to clear that up, just in case some confusion might have been had.
Please do.
Yeah, that wasn't about you. I was referring to her. She's already
okay.
She's a statist, and we've had conversations before where she told me that she wants teenagers to get sterilized or whatever, and she wants to state she was on. Well, I don't. She's not on the panel, so I'm not going to try to like mansplain her position. But she was on the Tiff Man's show talking about all of this.
Oh, okay.
Got you. Yeah, she mentioned here too that, and this is like, I can respect because this is the reality. Yes, consent is clearly irrelevant, right? That's why we're here, right? It's just that we're supposed to progress. Like, things don't have to be so barbaric, like we can think of better ways to live. Like, just like this is why we're having this conversation, because we didn't ask, can people go? And so yes, without question, consent is irrelevant, but it's like, okay, because it's not relevant in nature, what can we do about it? But yeah, I appreciate your points, Witchy, for just, because like all of us are not really critiquing per se, but coming from a different angle of things. And so I always just appreciate when there's something that makes sense, with not necessarily opposing, but just pointing out different things that we know, but like it, it's just a different dynamic in the conversation. So thank you for your comments throughout, Witchy. But yeah, like I was just saying with this one, I saw from before, I wanted to bring it up at some point. So I said fitting after I already mentioned another point from her that again, yeah, consent is irrelevant. Like, so yeah, what are we gonna do about it? Like, that's what we have to have these conversations and be like, so because that's the case, what the fuck? Like this isn't good. And no, you good against life. Get the reps in, get the reps in. Shout out, enjoy that.
Yeah, it's great having her on the chat.
Right.
It may not be relevant, but I think consent should be relevant. I don't think that force is legitimate. I don't think that, that we should have a society based on compulsion. Everything is compulsory. Your existence is compulsory. Your submission to democracy and institutions and capitalism, and then when you try to exit, they want to act like, oh, you're not here against your will. Wait a minute, Witchy. Wait. You specifically told me that I was not here by force. You said that nothing is forcing me to be here. That's what you said. I don't know. We can talk about this on my channel because I know she has some questions, but okay. Yeah, I'm not a statist, and obviously I don't support corporations. So even with restrictions, I still would not be okay with it.
Same.
Yep. And yeah, this is a battle of wills. Everything that we're talking about, like she says here, nothing can be accomplished without force. That's why we have to make these ways known, letting people know, connecting with people that can make these things of a higher magnitude. Because, with numbers, when we're talking in this kind of political realm type of sense, the numbers clearly matter. So yeah, for sure.
But if nothing will be accomplished without force, does that mean that the people who take the more extreme approach, like maybe they have the better approach? The ones who go into clinics and do certain activities, that's essentially what is being implied here. We should not be appealing to reason. We should be appealing to force.
Well, I would just say that force has pretty much been imposed upon us anyway. So like tick for tat, you're gonna have it go the opposite direction. That is a fact of life. Like everything here is about force, and everybody who has a agenda of some sort, how do they usually enforce it? It's never by, oh, I'm going to ask you nicely. Like we would wish for that to happen. We would wish for, people to ask nicely about things that they want. But in general, anytime something has ever been imposed, it has always been carried out through the will of force. So, that might sound extreme, but it's just a fact of nature. Like it's a fact of civilization even. Civilization didn't get rid of that quality. Like we said, the state is the perfect example. The state only has legitimacy because it's able to enforce that against people. So it's compulsory. So we really shouldn't be afraid of compulsory actions going the opposite direction because, I mean, whether we like it or not, that's part of the struggle. I mean, the struggle is whose will is going to win out. And as she rightfully said, without any compulsory anything, then you won't get what you want. I mean, because that's how it is. Like the state only exists because of its compulsion.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that's pretty much how, I'm just saying that's how it is. It's like, I mean, breeders, that's what I said. I really don't think breeders have a say so about compulsory anything because, again, all the society is compulsory. You are compelled to pay taxes, compelled to go to work, compelled to do this, compelled to do that. And if you don't, they use threats against you. They take away things from you, and then ultimately lead into the more extremes of they use violence against you and imprisonment. So all of that is compulsory. I mean, life in general, in society and in the nature, is compulsory. It's just how it is.
Yeah, because even if in terms of like going the more like diplomatic approach, you're gaining your I don't want to say compulsive force, but you're gaining traction, right? You're gaining more on your end to now make the different change that you're wanting to see, right? This is what I mentioned from that past stream with Rita, with what Amendum was saying, where he's like, oh, we need to have this democratic majority. Okay, that's just another form of this compulsive force. All this is force going on, with us going out of our way to try to make these points known. Force is like a will. They're kind of similar with the terminology in that there's a drive going on. And so either way we make of it, this force is here. And so we're just trying to kind of target it and make it, hit what we're trying to hit, with what the most effective means to get what we're trying to get going. And so, like you mentioned from before too, JC, it's not even like, like for the example you mentioned, if someone does something more than us, it's not even like we have to say anything if you're not about it. But it starts conversations, right? And I can also say, especially for the guy Edward Barkus, it's like, I mean, this motherfucker really, with the memo, or what was it, the manifesto video he had, like it just, these types of conversations can lead to different things, right? The realm of chaos is what we're talking about in many respects on this channel. And so yeah, I mean, we're just trying to drive this force in the ways that we can see it best fit for everyone. Has an agenda, so fuck it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Everybody has an agenda of their own. And so, I mean, that's been life. I mean, that's existence. Like existence is a battle, like you said, of wills. And somebody's will is going to have to win. Somebody else's will is going to have to lose. Our will was imposed against. We lost. How did we lose? Because we're here. We didn't ask to be here, but we were imposed against and brought into it. So our will was clearly negated, and we lost that. So again, it's just a battle of wills, a battle of whose agenda is going to win out and whose is not. But there's always going to be a win or a lose. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I think after that whole clinic incident, there was a greater interest in anti-nasalism. Now everybody was talking about it again, and I don't know. Now anti-natalists are considered dangerous, which basically is code for anti-natalists to be taken seriously because they were not taken as seriously before. But there's also the gatekeeping because a lot of people don't want to be associated with violence, so they don't want that to. They want to distance themselves from anything like that and just keep it purely academic. I mean, I guess everybody's trying to disclaim it, by the way. Anti-natalists are disclaiming it. The atheists are disclaiming it. I think the pro-extinctionist group, maybe they sort of claim them. I don't know. There's another group, if you aren't familiar with them. They're even more extreme than the ethicists because they don't care about consent or democracy.
Yeah. There's different factions within the same terminologies and whatnot. I'm just like, there's thing I had here, and I'm an all of the above kind of guy. I mean, listen, man, we're not telling nobody to do anything that they don't feel compelled to do. You know what I mean? We're just, saying different points that are obvious as shit. And from that, someone can get pissed as shit and be like, yeah, what the fuck? All this is fucked up, da, 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 da. And it gets to, well, it's kind of like when people were with the Trump and, Trump incites or ignites riots. You understand the logic to that. But at the end of the day, these are the people feeling compelled to, do whatever the hell, and whatever, like Mark mentioned from before, nigga's gonna die somehow. And so, I mean, it's gonna happen, And so, like, obviously for me, I can talk about myself, I don't want to just go out and just do anything to anybody. Like, it would have to be intentional, you know what I mean? Very planned and orchestrated, as it has been for many of these people we've talked about, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, if anyone is doing any such thing like that, go out swinging, not just on some fucking neighbor type. No, the fucking CEO or fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't, and so whatever. But like the whole point with, that portion of the talk is you should feel compelled. If that's not you, stay in your fucking lane. We're not talking to you, right? And so it's just these conversations, depending on the person. Yeah. Because we're mentally pissed off. We have the same vibe. They're just physically doing something a bit more effective than that means. And to that, like we've been saying, right, either you just shut the fuck up or you talk about why they did it, why it makes sense, why it's logical, and why what we're doing is more insane right now. And
can we just be more honest about, because this is what I would just wish people would be more honest about why they distanced themselves from that after that incident. And the whole thing is about fear. That was the entire motivation. There was no real philosophical disagreement with it, because the people who previously said that they had a problem with it, they were always talking the shit. But when somebody actually did it, oh no, we're against that. It was fear. They were afraid of the state. Let's be completely honest about it. They were afraid of the state. They're afraid of other human beings coming after them because of their beliefs and because of being associated with it. It was all driven by fear. It wasn't because they had a real a light bulb moment of, oh, all of a sudden I don't agree with this anymore. It was literally driven by fear. That's why I changed my name from being Mark Antinatalist to Mark Moonspilly, because antinatalism is flimsy. The people who hold that idea, really, a lot of them are just flimsy people. They can change overnight. If the government came out tomorrow and said, if you say you are an antinatalist, you are going to be killed or you're going to be X, Y, and Z, they would flip overnight and say, oh, we're pro-life. It's just fear driven. That's all it is fear. So again, it goes back to the whole problem of the state and its power to induce force through fear. That's all that the motivation was. It wasn't even really because they had an opposition to it. It was just because they were afraid. Just be honest.
Yeah, I never looked at it like that, but I think you're right.
Yeah, no, it's true, because it just comes back to, like, yeah, again, if you are saying something about that, for that clear event we're talking about, yeah, what exactly, and this is my thing, like, say stuff where it's promoting, the same thing. We're all the same vibe. It doesn't mean you have to do it. You know what I mean? Like, this is my thing with people. It's like we're not always going to be like all on the same page with everything. Like, you are your own unique sentient self. You know what I mean? Right. We're not telling you, you know what I mean? And so I think they focus on that. Like, oh, I wouldn't do that. No,
then don't do it then.
we're like a team right now, you know, like you have a pitcher, you have a catcher, you have a like whatever, play your fucking part. And if that's your part, I'm sorry. No. Well, I'm the part that talks shit against, because like, no, like don't say anything at all. You know what I mean? Or just focus on the points, you know, the actual philosophical, you know, academic, focus on that and why they kept, you know what I mean? Because all it is, that's a cry out. That's all it is. It's like, well, goddamn, if I'm speaking and no one's fucking caring, they're gonna care now. You know what I mean? And so, like, it blows me. You know. So, yeah, when another one's gonna happen, I'm telling you, you know, niggas getting tired, bro. Niggas are getting tired, and these are just different, like, spontaneous combustions type shit. You know, on some like Alu Akbar, like that's just all it is. Because yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, that's all it is. That question why. That's that. When you just focus on that, nothing else should matter. But see, these culture natalist people, they're just so glib. But yeah, you're right, Mark. Yeah, like how JC. Yeah, these people are severe, and it's just the animal instinct for survival or some shit. That this
Exactly. And that's all it was. It was a drive out of the movements or whatever from fear. That's all it was. They didn't really care. They didn't have any real problem with what he did. It was just the fact that they were afraid of the state. And that's what did it. That was the prime motivator. The absolute prime motivator. It was the fear of the state. But again, like you said, nobody's telling you to go out and do anything you don't want to do. What we are saying is, if you have a way that you want to do things, then go about whatever is comfortable for you. That doesn't have to always be violent. That doesn't have to be that you go out and do anything that you don't feel that you are able or wanting to do. Just talk. I mean, the problem with people nowadays is they underestimate the power of talking. Like, the idea of being able to speak an idea that holds power, that holds meaning, and people are so afraid to even just stand up in the crowd and say, "I don't like this." And then why? Because of the pushback of the people. Oh no, you don't like this and that. So again, it's like, just go out and talk, speak your mind, speak freely. Is that so radical to do, to speak freely? I mean, like, is that where we've become? Like, where we're now afraid to speak? For fuck's sake, that's really bad. That's a bad situation. If you're afraid to talk, if you're afraid to speak an idea, that's bad. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to speak your mind on any position that you have. It should be free. That's the basic act of freedom, to speak. So just speak. Just say you don't agree with the shit and let it be known. You don't have to go out and do any crazy shit you don't want to do. Don't do it. Just speak. You know, like, come on now. Like, let's be real about it. Like, they act like we told people to just go out and do all kind of crazy shit. That's not what happened. You know, it's like, so if you want to just speak your mind, if you want to get your message out there, then do it. Sit in front of a camera. I mean, it's free to do that. Sit in front of a camera, press record, let the world hear your thoughts, and that has ripple effects. Somebody else might hear it's like, oh, yeah, he's right. Let me go tell this other person about what he thinks, and then the word spreads, the ripple effects happen. I mean, come on, there's more ways to skin a cat, like they say in the old way, you know, the old phrase, different ways to skin a cat, you know.
Right.
Nobody's saying you have to be violent, like, you know, whatever.
No, that's what I was saying before, with like people like promoting this type of echo of light that we're about in Darkman, you know, with these different points and everything that we've been harping on. Like, people, yeah, are devaluing that element of speech. You know, that's why people, you know, rightfully so, you know, gets to, oh, you have to do something violent. No, you don't. Do what you want. Are you even at least talking about it with a lot of these points? And that element is something we can all do better on, you know, with speaking your mind and speaking honest, you know, on the different scenarios, encounter, circumstances within any one of our lives. You know, that's something that we can hold as a standard and continue to progress on for our own selves. You know, we're not all perfect. You know what I mean? There can be times where maybe you hide, you know, you're beating around the bush and this, that, because I'm there. You know, I'm not perfect when it comes to people in my life and this, that, the fourth. But no, those are the times that we should really be, if they already know, no, let them know again. You know what I mean? What we're about, what we're doing. And that's in part with this entropy, man. It's just when you continue putting that in the consciousness of people, you know, it will hit, you know. And so it's like again, I'm speaking for myself, you know. Someone's saying, well, what are you doing for the weekend? Oh yeah, I'm having this stream and I'm talking some hot shit, you know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about, because you asked for it. You know. We have to let people know what the fuck we're doing, you know. Because yeah, you just have to, you know, like what the fuck else, you know. You can't even tell people who the fuck you are, what the fuck you actually value. Like, fucking is crazy. And again, I'm not no better, you know. There's many ways, many times where I can put people on and I'm like, I can tell it's gonna, but no, have bridge that gap. Let that, you know, they're asking for it, especially when they ask for it. What are you doing? Da 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 da. Let them know, you know.
Yeah, and another reason why I said that was because I am hugely pro free speech. That's one thing about me that I harp on that, because I really do think that you have to have the right to speak your mind. I don't care what anybody else says. That to me is the most basic, the most profound thing that you have, is your ability to speak your mind on any situation that you see fit to speak it on. And I think that the limit or the threat against speech is how shit always goes wrong real fast. Like, you don't want that to happen. So I think people need to be more acclimated to speaking their minds. I mean, just in general principle. I mean, if you want to talk about the whole political thing of it, I mean, you know, the first thing that happens when you get any authoritarian or tyrannical government is what happens? They take away your ability to speak. They threaten your ability to speak your mind. And that's when shit goes wrong. When people don't stand up against that and say no, and they just go along with it and then cower. I mean, that's when shit gets worse. After they take away your ability to speak your mind, then it really hits the fan. So people should never be afraid to speak, no matter what.
Yeah. Any other topics, things that you guys have to want to get into?
I mean, on my end, I think I'm pretty good. I think I said what I wanted to say with that.
JC? I don't know if you're talking right now. You mute if you may be saying anything.
Yeah, his mic is off.
Okay, yeah. But I think, yeah, I'm at this point. I wasn't even thinking. I thought this show was gonna be like not even 2 hours. So it just, you know, I keep yapping. But these points have to be made, and I love the kind of. This is a great kind of concluding. Oh, go ahead, JC.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to step away for a minute. I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, was there any other topic, any other mentioning point thing that you were wanting to get into at all?
I don't know if I made the point earlier, but the right to a peaceful death is a natural right. It's not a right that the state can grant you. It's pre-political. It predates any governmental institution. It's based on the principle of self-ownership. That's why I would lean towards decriminalizing it as opposed to legalizing it with all of these state-imposed criteria.
Yep, pre-state. That's the term right there. That's exactly it. It's these niggas are doing too much. Just like how you said it, for something that, yeah, we all are definitely about with the decriminalization. Like, we're telling y'all, just stop. Like, this is the thing. Like, motherfuckers are doing actually a lot, you know, with this natalist culture, you know, and they're holding us back. And so, yeah, we're just saying, leave us the fuck alone. And yeah, these things they're here. We've been here. We can die right now if we technically wanted to, right? And so, yeah, this whole state restriction is a major issue. So appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I was looking at stuff that I was writing down throughout the chat or discussion, and I don't think was anything. But for another thing, like I really like the part you mentioned at the end there, Mark, with the power of the tongue. I just want to resurface again the example you mentioned because I'm definitely going to try to do that anytime this is going to happen again because this is going to happen. Niggas fuck and people come here. If you see, I'm talking to everybody here. If you hear somebody talk to you, oh yeah, we're expecting, oh it's coming, and we're having a baby, yeah. Do not, whether you want to say some shit against it, but I just say just don't say anything. You know what I mean? Take your way, strip yourself out of that conversation. You know what I mean? Especially when it's the one-on-one. When they're talking just to you, it's not like you're in a group setting, like they're really wanting you to say something. Quiet. That 13th, like we mentioned from the last stream, anti-cosmic voidism, do nothing, say nothing in those instances. Let them simmer in that. And then they're going to eventually say, because if you can do it, if you can do it, just look at them in the face, just straight, don't try to, but just try to just be like, or just,
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, I'm good. I'm done. Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt you there, but you just brought this up to my mind because and that's another thing I get a lot. Anytime this is brought up, they'll say, "Oh, well, people are still going to fuck." I mean, people like to fuck. I'm like, nobody is saying anything against that. I mean, you can have a brain, and you can figure out you don't have to, you don't have to orgasm inside of a woman's vagina to get her pregnant. You really don't have to do that. That's a point of choice. Okay, like you don't have to do that. I mean, you can self pleasure. I mean, self pleasure is so underrated. I mean, you don't have to do that. I mean, you can still get that pleasure without having to go the full way and have penis and vaginal sex. I mean, you can avoid that entire route. You know what I mean? It's like so the choice to carry out the heterosexual sex act to bring forth a child, that's one of choice. I mean, you really don't have to do that to get pleasure out of. I mean, it's just so silly for people to say that. I mean, you could literally just masturbate and get it all out the way and never have to deal with it again. So crazy.
Yeah. It's the one. The vampiric nature, man, because I'm sorry, that's what it is with relationships. And we know that as men, like 90% of it is just you want a fucking play doll to fuck with. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like, man, the dependency with this existence, where is that bad? Where that's, of course, like the initiator for why the fuck you even care to. But that's really what sustains, like we mentioned before. This is more so with the women's side. Someone mentioned before, like, people don't want to be lonely. That's more on the women's side. It's similar with the men, but it's lonely in the sexual extent. And this is what it's like. If you can be abstinent in that, and you kind of forgot the taste of the devil's apple, good, because it's when you try to experience it, it's like, oh man, and then you're trying to get it again and again and again. Yeah, it's just again vampiric, man. And this, man, fuck motherfuckers, man. There was a question though, and there's any other questions, please in the chat, let us know. But here, Paul said, "What do you think of forced sterilization?" Whatever, if it happens, great. What the fuck, like whatever way that might happen or whatever. Awesome. If niggas can just wake up, God forced it, whatever type of force, ghost, Holy Spirit, ghost, forced it, like, fine with me. There's been no reason for this to be happening anyway, in terms of the clear points we're mentioning. The only reason that it's happening is because this shit is barbaric. Yeah, so if there was to be a forced sterile, let me sign my signature, bro. Like, bro,
Right.
dude, like we're, like, yeah, in terms of the concept of it, and the reality, yeah, this is some crime shit. We say it all the time. Imposing birth and death is a crime. We mentioned before in the beginning of the talk, meat. I was gonna go to one of my I don't want to get too personal, but there was a joint I was gonna go to, and they were gonna be selling meat, and I was like, man, I was gonna really, I might still go there. They end later in the evening, But I say that to say we're around death all the time. Okay. So I think people are just so desensitized to death that they don't respect that significance, because we eat these different life forms that are not living anymore. Even if it's plants, fruits, that was a living force that now we're, killing off for our own sustenance, right? And so I say that to say bridging it similar with the procreating thing, right? Like, no, like this death thing is not cool in terms of like putting it on somebody. And it's really the birth thing, of course. But like we see how people go. We mentioned the term hospice. This shit is crazy, bro. This shit is crazy. And I don't fuck with how people devalue that, because we eat every day. It's no, like this is, but the base crime is that in terms of imposing the birth, then to lead to the death in between, niggas gotta eat. Like, and so yeah, forced sterilization. Just always remember this in the back of your head. This is already criminal. We're cleaning this shit up. Fuck anybody crying, no, I don't want to. No, I'm just saying if this were to happen, I'll be having my megaphone like, no, bitch, whatever. Like, do you not know what you're imposing? You know what I mean? Like just continue to remind, like, if people feel like, oh, I feel like I'm a bad person because I'm with this force still. No, get back to these points that we've been talking about, man. These motherfuckers are
Facts.
criminal, man. Remember that. So any one of us, yeah, Paul should be about that because this is crime, bro.
I mean, yeah. If anything, I would say that you bringing more people into a existence where shit like cancer and all sorts of deprivations and sicknesses exist, and you know for a fact that once you're here, you're going to die somehow. I think that's fucked up. I think that's a horrible compulsion. I think that's a horrible force to do against somebody. So. I mean, I think people are also insulated from really just how bad shit is on Earth. Like, I think people really don't see enough of the awful shit happening in life around them. They really don't. People are cloistered in society where they've been closed in and safe from the horrible, brutal bullshit of life and the shit that happens in nature. It's not good, it's not pretty, and everything on this world is being preyed upon or preying. That's what's happening. It's either you're going to be a predator or you're going to be a prey, and that's life on earth in every situation. That's life in existence. Predatory or prey. Okay, so it's a horrible, shitty situation. So to say that somebody wanting to stop that makes them a horrible or terrible person or awful person is such fucking bullshit. It's so stupid. That's like saying somebody is trying to stop somebody from being raped is a bad person. How? It's ridiculous. I mean, come on now. We're talking about stopping torture, stopping suffering. How could that possibly be something that's uh controversial? It makes no sense. People really need to get a grip and understand where they are in reality. And it's not pretty. Okay. So wanting to stop this in any kind of fashion is something that we all should frankly support. I mean, unless you like torture, I mean, then this is the place for you, apparently. If you're some kind of sick, sadistic fuck, then yeah, the world is a wonderful place. Have at it. But for everybody else who isn't a sadistic psychopath, we should want to stop this.
Most definitely. JC, you got anything to say with any of the past few different things mentioned?
Not really. I probably can't stay on too long, but I just wanted to thank you for putting this panel discussion together. And I hope people will listen to it. I don't know do you mind if I stream it on my channel also?
Please.
Okay. Yeah, I think some of my subscribers came over here, so I don't know if like Wishy was on my channel, but I met some of these people on Finding Gnosis' channel, so it's like we're just kind of cross-referencing like subscribers. So even though I had to start over from scratch because I lost my other channel, so
yeah, they banned that channel, or how that happened again?
yeah, I don't even know which video it was, but they took my channel down. I'm assuming because I talked about self-deletion.
Was that the anti-natalist informant channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I wondered what happened to that channel. I thought that maybe you had deleted it or something because I was looking for it and I was like, where did it go?
No, they give. I mean, they're not even very specific. They give you vague, you know, claims that you're supposed to respond to.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube censorship is a really serious thing. Like these, I don't get it. They need to go back to how they were when they actually did allow people to speak their minds.
Yeah, no, it's because I had a strike from one of mine. Was it a strike? It was something, like a warning, and I'm like, they didn't even really get into the specifics of what exactly was the issue. They're just like, oh, this was the general thing, and so whether you like it or not, I try to file an appeal. They're like, nope, we're gonna still put the warning. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, it's just this is a place where most people are at, so that's why I'm here. You know, I'm just trying to connect to whoever, as many people as we can. You know what I mean? And so we gotta fucking work with this bullshit. But yeah, there was a comment from Vazen. I think he wanted to hop on, so I posted it in the chat if my boy Vazen or anyone. I mean, but specifically if Vazen comes, I will tell the other person to please. My boy Vazen has something he wants to say. But yeah, for anyone else too, if you do want to join, I mean, you know, by all means, we for the three of us, we were pretty much good. I was maybe trying to go to different comments or whatever, but at this point, only if somebody wants to come in. But I know Vazen said that specifically. That's why I dropped that in the chat or anyone. Like I said, but if Vazen comes, I'm gonna have to tell the person, hold on, Vazen's here, and then we'll get to you if you have anything else you wanted to say. But JC, were you gonna say something right there?
No, I mean, I got to get ready to go to work.
Oh yeah, you good. You good. You are good to hop off. Thank you again for joining. I'm glad
Yeah,
that
thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So many great points that you've had throughout. Yeah, just shout out JC. Thank you so much.
And love your channel, by the way. Keep up the great work you're doing. I hope all the best in terms of everything you're trying to get done with that. And I'll definitely look up your music. I really want to check that out.
I appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good day.
You too.
All right.